Hey you, come, gather around the campfire, and welcome to the party. This is Party Chat, a JRPG podcast where we talk about everything that we love in the world of JRPGs and other Eastern titles. I am one of your hosts, Cameron Hawkins, and with me, as always, is my party partner, Kevin Kenson. Kevin, how you been? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. It's been a very hectic. I can't even believe that we're already like a week since PAX now. Like that much time has passed already. Like, because that felt like such a long, like 5-ish days,
Mm-hmm.
and then the week since just kind of like zipped by. Partially because I definitely slept a lot, like the first like day or two I got back. Uh, but yeah, just what is time? What is time?
Yeah, how did you like your first PAX West?
I enjoyed it a lot. There's things I think I would do different, like my next time around,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just tough because, like, I think for me, it was not only my first PAX, but it was like working PAX, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm balancing like, here's cool stuff I want to do, but also I made appointments for this and this and this. And I think the biggest mistake I made is that as much as I did like them, I probably could have gone to like 2 less panels, 3 less panels even. Because like they were cool, but a lot of them I know also got recorded, and I just ended up with no time to do like floor show
Sure.
stuff. Like there are so many demos that I kind of learned about at like the second to last day where I was like, oh, that sounds cool as hell. I want to go play that. Or oh, that sounds like sick as shit. Let's go do that. And I walked around on the last day trying to sneak some stuff in because that was really my only day that had some free time, and just I was so brain fried, man. Nothing got done that day. We were like wandering around the top of the Arc building, like, oh, I think there's a demo for this somewhere. That was cool, and I was just gone.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. No, the last day of PAX is the day where you just say goodbye to people. Like
yeah,
that's really
no,
what it's for.
and the best example of this is we posted this in the Discord, and I put it up on my socials. Uh, our panel was on the last day, like middle of the day, and one of our friends, Josh, was in the audience before they let people in, and so he just snuck a quick pick in of us all sitting behind the panel setup. You, me, and the GRPG Pursuit folks, and none of us were like ready for a photo. Like we were, I don't think any of us even realized he took it, and then he
Absolutely
posted
not.
it, and we just all look different. Like Brandon, for whatever reason, he looks fine. He just looks like he's thinking. The rest of us are like dead though. Like I can't even
Mm,
describe the expressions on some of our faces.
yeah.
uh, but I think that really encapsulates just like the energy we had that day.
Yeah, I think the panel went good. Like I think as well as a midday Monday panel could. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought we had good conversation and it was a good time. And that's on the if you want to check that out, that is on the JRPG Pursuit YouTube channel. And it's also gonna go up eventually on our Patreon for free. So we need to do that. I just thought about, oh yeah, we need to
Yeah.
do that.
As you mentioned that, I was like, oh yeah, we were supposed to put that on our Patreon. I don't have that file. We have to grab
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah. We have to
from the.
we have
I
to
got
talk
yeah.
to Dala about that.
Oops.
Um yeah, no, I really enjoyed PAX West. I think I enjoyed it more than I did East this year. Normally I like East better. I just think East was it was really a weird PAX East. Like it was a lot of it was the first, so you know how like we had appointments for like a lot of our major things
Sure.
on the first 2 days. We
Yeah.
only really had the first 2 days to do that stuff. That isn't normally a thing. Normally they give us like any of the days of PAX.
Hmm.
And normally how I like to plan out my PAX is I do nothing on the first day. Um, and then I do most of my appointments either on day 2 or day 3. Because I want to like shop, I want to get my sense of the surroundings, like where things are, all that stuff. And back at PAX East, they were, like all the major appointments, like for like Square and stuff, they're like, hey, we're only doing this on the first 2 days. And that just I think that really just threw a lot of people out of whack.
Mm-hmm.
And they did the same thing this time around with Nintendo and Square. So I had to do, thankfully, I had the opening to do so. Because out of the 6 openings that were available to me for Nintendo, only one of them actually worked for me.
Jeez.
So thank God for that. But still, it was just, I think because I got used to it with East, it wasn't as much of a bother. It was still a little frustrating. I was just like, I would really like to just like walk the floor. Because like there was one day of PAX, I think it was, I don't remember if it was the day we did all the Square stuff or if it was the day after. But there was definitely a day of PAX where I didn't go on the floor at all.
Yeah.
I didn't like, and like that sucks, like,
No, 100%.
and yeah, and I know that I'm working, right? But I also just feel like that, I just wish that there was a little bit more flexibility in the behind closed doors stuff.
Sure. And that's the thing too, is that like, yeah, we're working, but like the floor stuff is working too, right? Like there's definitely a couple floor demos that, it's a smaller indie team or whatever, and they just have their setup.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that sounds cool as shit. I want to go check that out. And then it was just like, I don't have the time. Like I'm either in the other building or I'm running to appointments or recording something. Like there was just so much running around for stuff that there's things I absolutely wish I could have been able to go hands on with and like talk about here a bit more, and just couldn't, which is rough.
Yep.
But there is stuff we did play that we can talk about. So we do.
And we did talk about all of that on our last episode with the JRPG Pursuit podcast. Yeah. We talked about Pokemon. We talked about Kirby. We talked about Crimson Desert. We talked about a lot of stuff, and so
and a whole bunch of dedicated Square Enix ones too.
Yes, and we have like we'll get through that through the housekeeping and everything, because I still got some other stuff I want to talk about. It's been a lot has happened. A lot has happened since PAX for me, and I just gotta get through it. I gotta get it out. I gotta get it out.
I need to tell someone, and the podcast is the outlet for this.
It 100% is. And also, like, just for those listening, this is probably going to be one of, if not our longest episode, because there's a lot to talk about, like with what we've been playing and like, topic of the show. There's a lot that we can discuss. So strap in, or listen to this in multiple listenings. If that's
really
how
funny.
you want to go about.
It's gonna be really funny if we somehow just bust this out, and it's like a fairly
quick hour and a half.
And they're gonna like see the runtime as you're saying that. Like, guys, get ready. This is gonna be a long one, and it's like, this might actually be a very long one, though. I know we got a lot to do.
Yeah.
So what do you got to get out of your head? What do you got to get out of your head?
Well, one thing that I don't want to get past us for our listeners and our viewers is that we got some sick shirts on right now that I made for our panel. Because what happened was is that I wanted to use the panel as a way to have the audience vote on whether or not Souls-likes are JRPGs. And granted, I do want to be clear that like I want it to be a little bit more specific in like, hey, your definition of a JRPG,
sure,
not like not trying to like, I wanted it to be all subjective, and I also like wanted to give the context like, remember, Souls-likes were invented by FromSoft, they're a Japanese company, blah, 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 blah. I wanted to bring those things in, but I was also just like so like tunnel visioned and also equally tired at that point that I was like, no, dog, like this is the best.
And we had a time limit. I think we only wanted that bit to take like 5 minutes at most. So like, there wouldn't be time to properly like. That's a whole panel in and of itself.
No, 100%. And I threw y'all off, and it was so funny because I was just like, the only people that know is Christine, Kevin's wife, and then the way you just immediately shot eyes at her, like, what did you do? What are you letting him doing? And Emily, because I was just like, Emily submitted the panel. Also, like, she's the woman on the panel. I wanted to be respectful to her, and I was just like, hey, are you cool if I do this? And she was like, yeah, whatever. So we basically just like asked the audience to see like, oh, do you think JRPGs are a Souls-like? And I bought shirts for both of like, in either case, because again, on record, Kevin knows that he is in the minority, even though he feels the way he does. He knows that he's in the minority.
Well, the
but I
masses
still
can be
made the
wrong.
shirt. Yeah, no, 100%. We're gonna talk about that with
Yeah.
one of the games I've been playing later today.
Oh boy.
And so I made a shirt for both of us that says Cameron is right, Souls likes aren't JRPGs, and Kevin is right. Souls likes are JRPGs, and I bought one for both of us. So maybe one day when I'm feeling a little,
Spicy?
a little spicy, I'll be like, Kevin is right. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I just wanted to throw that out there. That's what we're wearing on the pod this week. Considering selling this as merch, but who knows? Maybe sometime down the line. Oh, also shout out to our artist Brian Heemskirk for doing this quick design.
I didn't realize he did that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Was this the email you told me to delete?
It was the email I told you to delete. I was like, dude, you're because he responded. I sent an email just to him.
Yeah.
And then he responded CCing you, and I'm like, Kevin, you haven't seen that email, have you? Nope. Delete it. I was like, good, delete it. Yeah, he did way more than I was expecting. I wanted something a lot more even simplistic than this, and he balled out. But yeah, so outside of PAX, I went to Salem, Massachusetts for a wedding. For a good friend of mine, Brendan Groom from Pass the Controller podcast.
That's who it was for. Okay, because I saw a lot of people. I was like, I know a ton of these people that are at this wedding, so it's got to be for some. I just didn't see anyone post who it was actually for. So it was just like, they're here. Like, whose is this? What's going on?
Yeah, so it was for Brendan. It was my first time in Salem. And Salem rocks. Like, I'm very much not a small town type of guy, but Salem rocks. And I really enjoy the vibe there. My friend Moises made a very great tweet, basically being like, "I love Salem. Everyone's dressed like Bloodborne characters here," which, fair. And yeah, it's just really cool vibes. I love the energy. It's right next to the water. Like, when I found out like where my friend Brendan lives, like, he literally like lives right next to a park that's like right on the water. And it's just like, what? You're living life, dog. Like, that's like a dream.
I can't even imagine what property like that goes for, like, out in my area. Like, being right on the water. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was really great. Wedding was great. Hot, really hot. They did not have AC in that place, but very, very cool wedding. Here's the thing. I have a question for you, Kevin.
Okay.
In a hypothetical, at your age, or just, you can even say you're at my age, and something happened between you and Christine and you became single. How fucked do you think, on a scale of 1 to 10, would you be when it comes to, considering how long you've been together with her, how fucked you would be trying to talk to women again? Like, trying to talk to women that you are of interest to.
Yeah, no, that's rough, buddy. That's rough, because there's absolutely because like, here's the thing, right? It's like, I don't think about that anymore, right? Like, I don't because I've absolutely met women that I find attractive and stuff, and like, obviously Christine gets that, but there's no part of me that's like, oh, I have to make an impression, or I have to, you know what I mean?
100%.
Like that part of my brain's just not on anymore, because I'm just like, oh, I'm happily married, whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I sleep in a bed with my wife. Anyways, but so like, the moment that I have to like think that way again, which is always stupid, right? Because you probably actually make a better impression not thinking that way, but the stupid hormones and brain cell things start doing stuff. Yeah, I'd probably be pretty bad at it.
So there was this girl at this wedding that I was just absolutely smitten with, dude. Like, I was like, this girl is absolutely beautiful, stunning, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I just want to talk to her. And it's just like, but I'm just like, can't talk, because, for context, I was in a relationship for 7 years, same relationship consistently for 7 years. And since that I've gotten back into the single game, I just don't know how to talk to women. I just don't. And
well, and it's also like, when it's that like length of time, it's like, stuff changes. Like
Yeah, it's
dating
like I
scene's
don't
a little
know.
bit different. What stuff do you go out and do? What are the icebreakers? Like people just like change as time goes on. You're like, I remember how I talked to people when I was in my mid-20s and they were in their mid-20s. I'm this age now. What do we talk about our back pain in the morning? Is that a thing? Like I don't know. What are we doing?
No, yeah. So I I was trying to buck up the courage throughout the night to talk to this girl because she was there by herself. I assume she's single, and I did not. I failed. I fumbled, or worse than fumbled, because I didn't even try.
Damn.
But you know, um, I my friend just unprompted, to on the record, unprompted, sent me her Instagram. So I did try a request to follow her on Instagram, and if she does follow me back, I am gonna reach out to her. But boy, like that was such a
And then
night, dude.
and then that same friend is like, "Oh yeah, he has a podcast with his buddy. You should like listen to their latest episode."
And then it's gonna be me. I mean, I think like she would. I don't know. Like maybe she'll think that's cute. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But the last thing I want to mention is on my way back from Salem, there was a storm that happened right when I got like right before my flight.
Mhm.
So it delayed my flight for about 2 hours to the point where I missed my connecting flight in Salt Lake City, to the point where I had to stay in the Salt Lake City airport for 12 fucking hours, dog.
I saw
And let me
I
and
saw
let
you
me
mention
tell you, I don't wish that on my mortal enemy, dog. That shit sucked so hard. Uh and like thankfully I was able to, because it was late. It was like 11 something.
yeah.
Thankfully, I was able to grab food like before
Everything closed down.
everything closed down.
Yeah.
Yeah, thankfully there was a Shake Shack that was open, and I picked up food from there, and then that got me through until like for like 8 to 9 hours.
Did you stay awake the whole time?
No, no.
Okay.
But I was also stressed about like, because there were multiple people that were sleeping like
Sure.
in the in the general vicinity I was at, so I wasn't really worried. That made me feel more comfortable about trying to sleep with my bag and shit, like
Yeah.
you know, um, and but I did, and we'll get to it when we get to play the
What have you been
what we've
playing?
been playing.
Yeah.
I played a shit ton of Pokemon Violet. Like I'm almost done with that game.
Nice.
And I'm ready to talk about my updated thoughts on that. But yeah, so that sucked. And because not only was it like, oh, it's basically midnight and now you have to sleep, you have to stay at the airport. They couldn't fly me out until noon.
Ugh.
It was just like, nah, dog, that sucks. So I I hated that. I hated that. I don't want to do that ever again. But anyway, that's all of the setup for today's episode, everyone. That's what we've been up to.
I will say it was faster than I thought it was going to be. The way you talked
Okay.
about it, like Let's Blues, I thought we were going to hit like the 30-minute mark. We're not even at 20 yet. So
I
doing
could
good.
have. I could have. But I feel like at this point people would have been like, come on, let's get to why we're here.
I do want to throw out one quick thing going back to our panel and the whole like who was right shirt thing.
Mm-hmm,
This is a point I've brought up to you, and I feel like you have not refuted it to me in a way I find satisfactory.
That's fine.
So after PAX, my wife actually did not come home with me. She went down to Portland because her childhood best friend lives there,
Okay.
and she just had a baby like 3 months ago. No, wait, longer, maybe half a year. Anyways, point is, she went down to visit, help with the kid, that kind of thing, and she had a conversation with her friend and her husband about like, oh yeah, like, Kevin and Cam did this panel, blah, blah, blah. She told the story about our shirts. And so the husband, this guy, Jake, who's super cool, he was first like, yeah, no, I don't think Dark Souls like is a JRPG. That doesn't make sense to me. And he just kind of sat there for a bit and like stewed in it and went, well, do people consider Kingdom Hearts a JRPG? And she was like, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Dark Souls definitely is. And that is the
No.
point I stick to with you. Why does that one count to you, but not Dark Souls? We'll save that for a later episode. We don't have to dive into that right now.
Sure.
We got to move on, but that's always
yeah.
my main what I go back to.
Yeah. Do got some breaking news once we get later in the show. It's not like a main story, like it's not top story level, but
let's get
it's
our
some exciting news.
Yeah.
So
let's get our housekeeping out of the way.
Yeah, so housekeeping.
Fold the sheets.
If you've been enjoying the show, please go to your podcast service of choice, give us a 5-star rating, whether it be Apple Music, Spotify, and the likes. And please go to youtube.com/@partychatjrpgpod and hit the subscribe button over there. We're almost at 400. We've gotten a little bit of a boost from the panel and just like being more active with the JRPG Pursuit guys over there.
Much love.
So shout out to that. Yeah, much love to them. And we have previews for Final Fantasy Tactics, the Evilise Chronicles, Octopath Traveler 0, and Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2D remake up on YouTube and podcast services right now for you. And just another reminder, our episode from last week has our previews for non-embargoed things that we didn't have like an embargo for. So Pokemon, ZA, Kirby Air Riders, a pretty lengthy list of games. So check that out. And we did that again with the JRPG Pursuit podcast. And that was a good time. We also have a Patreon where if you want to throw a couple of our bucks this way, our way, us way,
more bucks our way,
our way, giving you some rewards like getting access to our exclusive Discord, getting the episode a day early, our Q&A episodes, our Campfire Catalog, which is our book club podcast, which we just started the poll for our last one of the year, which will be all indie focused. So the games that we put into consideration are In Stars and Time, Omori, Quartet, and Chained Echoes. So for this month of September, if you sub at any tier, you'll be able to make your vote on that poll. So that's cool. We're working on this month, at the very least, recording the Lunar episodes because we have finished those games. Legend of Dragoon, don't know if we're making that one, dog. I don't know if I'm making that one.
I feel like I'm going to be able to dig deep and like pull it out last second, but I also have a lot more freedom with my schedule than you do. So I'm worried for you, buddy. I'm worried.
It might have to be a pushback to the end of the year. It might have to happen. I don't know. We'll see, because there's a lot of stuff that's coming out this month, and October.
Yeah. This in October. I think November has some stuff too, but like this in October is just stacked this year. At least for stuff that I care about. Like
October is stacked in general. I think September is more stacked for this podcast focuses on. Yeah. So
there's some Trails game coming out. I don't know.
Yeah. Some bullshit. And lastly, go to youtube.com/Kevin Kenson and hit the subscribe button over there as we try to get Kevin to 1 million subscribers before the end of 2025. It's like, you're like, it's not looking good, champ. It's not looking good. Okay. But we're going to get into the news for this week. Probably the biggest story is that we got an update on the kind of progression of development for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 and Kingdom Hearts 4 through Tetsuya Nomura. So Tetsuya Nomura was a part of Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis's second anniversary broadcast, and he basically made this statement saying, quote, "Right, so looking at the comments, I'm seeing people ask every so often about the third entry in the Final Fantasy VII Remake series. Apparently, co-director Matsumu Toriyama mentioned in an interview that something might be released around the second anniversary of Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. So that's probably where those expectations are coming from. Right, so things are progressing really smoothly. I can't say more. If I suddenly went, well, actually, everyone would be really surprised. So yeah, things are moving along really smoothly, and the release timing has already been decided. We're moving, and this is in regards to, I believe, specifically Remake Part 3. We're moving forward according to that schedule right now, so please rest assured to be patient. And this has also come up in the comments here and there, but Kingdom Hearts 4 is likewise steadily moving forward according to schedule. So please look forward to it. End quote. Yeah. So that's that's something. It's one of those things like I think that
Acknowledgement.
I am at the point right now where I am kind of wondering which is going to come first at this point, Remake Part 3 or Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah, because I think of those two, like Remake Part 3, like we just got Rebirth relatively recently still. Like there's going to be some time between. Like I think we know that's going to be a little bit ways off. Kingdom Hearts 3 or 4 has just kind of been like so what's happening with that? Where are we right now?
Yeah, listen again, I know some things, but like I don't know enough to like really give a
Right.
just a definitive like, oh, it should be out by the end of next year. Oh, it'll be out 2020. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I know about like very specific things that like probably, if if more people listen to this podcast, maybe a headline, but yeah, I'm not gonna disclose that information.
Yeah.
But there is something more along the lines of Kingdom Hearts 4 that we need to talk about. That being that apparently there's been like an initial is the key word here.
Yeah.
World list for Kingdom Hearts 4. So this was like the first wave of like, hey, here are the worlds that we're considering for Kingdom Hearts 4. And when I say we, I'm saying Tetsuya Nomura.
Yeah.
And so
who knows what like got on the cutting room floor, what got added later, but like this was just kind of the starting point of what they looked at.
Yeah, so this was originally reported by Vice. And the list was originally shared on 4chan and then eventually made its way to Reddit, where it was like properly discovered and things like that. So this is like the list of things, and I definitely want to talk about it with you. So we got the Final World, Quadratum, the Mysterious Tower, Hercules, Moana, Princess and the Frog, a bunch of different versions of Wreck-It Ralph. I think it's like because they're based off all the different like
specific games
locations.
Like the Racing Mountain, or in Wreck-It Ralph 2 introduces a bunch of stuff, so like that makes sense.
Yeah, Zootopia, The Incredibles, Brave, Inside Out, Coco, WALL-E, Star Wars, Scala at Kylum, Radiant Garden, Destiny Islands, and some world that's called WF. We don't know what WF means.
Yeah.
No Marvel on this list.
Yeah. Star Wars though.
Yeah, which it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening, everybody. I don't know.
Lightsabers are basically already in Kingdom Hearts in a fashion. So like, sure. Let's just go.
Yeah, no, like Star Wars is happening.
Yeah.
It just is. Like, so get your Sora Star Wars world cosplays ready because it's gonna happen. It's gonna look sick too. Like I can't wait for him to have like a Jedi. I don't know if he's gonna go as far to have like a Jedi robe. That's the thing that's interesting, right? Is that like you would want Sora to look like a Jedi, but he's not a Jedi. So what would they make him look like?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. There's certain. So I think it's tough. It's tough to talk about it knowing the things I know.
Yeah.
But The Incredibles I would really love to see. Like that is like one of my top picks for sure.
I think that's a big thing, like because that was also kind of big with 3 in that like we finally started doing Pixar stuff. And there is such a wealth of Pixar that has not been tapped into yet, right? Like they did Toy Story.
Yeah.
And that's it. So like
and Monsters Inc.
Oh, and Monsters Inc. That's true. Wait, is that?
Yes.
Okay, I sometimes forget if that one's Pixar or Disney directly.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I Yeah, like most of those Pixar ones, I think were the ones that really piqued my interest. Like, oh yeah, like Wall-E would be cool. Like I'd be down to see the aesthetics, some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the two things that interest me is that like I don't think we're gonna get Wall-E because we're already getting Star Wars, and it's like having two
yeah,
sci-fi things just
right.
probably isn't gonna play out. And then that's kind of my thought process with the Incredibles is like, oh, they're probably doing the Incredibles, which is why they're not doing Marvel.
Mm.
Which is like, I get it, but I also feel like
I
you're really missing out by not including Marvel.
I think the thing with Marvel is that like Marvel is such an expansive thing. Like, what do you choose to focus on? Like, are they just going to have like, is it just like vaguely New York and it's the Avengers? Are they trying to do like a particular hero or just like a very specific like subset of them? Like, I feel like there's a lot of options and a lot of things you have to like dial in and choose how you want to handle that. Because Marvel as a term is very broad, right? Incredibles is Incredibles, and like is a
Yeah,
little
but
more
like,
straightforward.
you don't think that they couldn't easily just do like, uh, I don't know, like they could do like, I,
I think
I'm not. They
no,
could
I
probably
get
just
it.
do like Endgame or like
Yeah,
Avengers One, like 100%. The party members would be Iron Man and Cap, like easy, assuming that they're doing the two additional party members again.
sure. Yeah,
Like that's easy.
yeah.
And then just doing like, oh, we're doing the Battle of New York in Avengers 1, or oh, we're doing the final battle against Thanos in Endgame, which would be so sick.
Yeah, I think what I go back to a little bit too though is that like because I understand like wanting to see Marvel because it's Marvel. It similar
Yeah.
to how Star Wars is. It's a whole big major established IP that Disney got later, and it's like, oh, does that mean this can now be a part of? Eh, The other thing you get out of Incredibles you don't get out of Marvel is I think Incredibles has a much more interesting visual identity to play with in like world design
Sure.
because it's very
Sure.
like mid-century focus and kind of like retro a little bit but still like advanced and has a bit of like tech mixed in. Avengers, sure, you can add in everyone's got clear screen computers for some reason, but it's the world, right? Like unless they did something very specific like, oh, this is happening over on this planet, or this is in the Avengers Tower specifically, so it's all like just specifically focused on that aesthetic and tech. I just think there's a very immediate flavor and like fun design thing to play with that you get with Incredibles that you don't get quite as easily with Marvel.
Like I get what you're saying, and and to be clear, like
And this is grasping at an initial list, like
no,
yeah,
100%. We don't even know if this list is real.
yeah,
This is all hypothetical.
sure,
Um, but what I will say is that what I will say about this list, without saying specifics,
sure.
based off information I know, is that I believe that this is probably a real list in the sense of like
Where they
if it,
started.
of where they started, because there's certain things that aren't on this list that I don't that I've like I think aren't going to be in the game, and there are certain things on this list that uh
You feel pretty confident about.
I think definitely would be considered, but from what I know is not going to be in the game.
Hmm,
And so like that's kind of where I'm at with it right
got it.
now.
I do have one other thing I want to shout out about this list real
Mhm.
quick. Just put Olympus down, guys. Like it's fine. Like we don't. I have been to Olympus
He's like the
so many.
old soldier.
It
Just
is.
like
It
let
is.
him rest.
I mean, it is the most used world at this point,
It
right?
is. It
Like
is.
by far.
Yeah.
Like it's been in every game basically. Like we
It
like
is.
it just
Yeah.
like don't get me wrong. I like Hercules. It's one of my favorite movies actually. Like from like that era of Disney. But I've done that world a lot, guys. And like I get it if it's like, oh well, this is where the Colosseum is, so it's just how we're like integrating an arena thing. Like there's other worlds we can do.
Yeah.
We can mix it up. That's my one request. Put Olympus down. Just close that file folder. Tape it shut for a while. We're good.
I agree. I just think it's listed there because like we assume Donald and Goofy went to the underworld to try
Oh,
and find like talk
yeah,
to Hades, be like, hey,
sure.
where like how do I get Sora back? Like that type of thing.
Yeah, and if we get a
Um
cutscene like that early on, fine, cool. I get it. There's narrative ties, but like I don't need that to be a world I visit on my stop again. Like I just
100%. Agree with you.
We can give it to something else.
Yeah. And just quickly going back to the Incredibles and Marvel thing, like I definitely like I think both of those worlds could coexist. But if it is one of those like, oh, we're picking one or not the other, it's hard, right? Because Incredibles, I'm like, yeah, I want Incredibles. That's one of my favorite animated movies of all time. But also like Marvel as an IP is just a new marketing tool you can use to get new players, especially
Yeah.
because it's like the beginning of a new arc. Like, it, obviously, I'm gonna be like, oh, I want to get into Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts. Like, can I start with Kingdom Hearts 4? I'm probably gonna say like you should play through the entire series, but like this does feel like the closest to a new entry point that the series has ever had.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing to put into perspective as well.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, but really for me, based off this list, I would really love a I would love Princess and the Frog if they actually go down the like a hand-drawn art direction route for that world. Like I want like I want the world kind of like Timeless River. What they did with Timeless River in Kingdom Hearts 2. Do like the hand-drawn animation aspect of that in Princess and the Frog. That would be really dope. I would love that. I would love Zootopia because one, it just like allows them to kind of get funny with the forms.
Oh yeah. No,
But also I think Zootopia is like one of the most underrated Disney animated films of the past like 15 years. So there's that, and then The Incredibles because The Incredibles.
yeah. I agree with. I mean, forms are always a big thing for me. Like I always like whenever you can like play with like because I remember back playing the original ones like growing up and stuff. It was so cool when it's like, oh, like Sora's a lion now because it's Lion King, and like that makes sense. Okay, like those were always very fun things, and I was almost like let down when you go to some worlds and it's like, oh, okay, we're sticking to default for this one. Like I get it, but give me a unique design. Which I
Yeah.
think that's kind of what I go to a lot of times and that it also what brought me back to like the Marvels or Incredibles thing, right? Like I just conceive the vision of one of those, how it could impact other design choices, and then Marvel is just like, yeah,
That
New York.
say what you will about Kingdom Hearts 3 because there's, just a lot of nuance to that conversation. I genuinely think that Kingdom Hearts 3 should have like won like all the art awards that year. Like just the fact that every world or almost every world was a distinctly different art style.
Mm-hmm.
I think is really impressive and also probably a part of the reason why the development of that game took so long. That yeah, I wish it got a bit more. I just wish that was talked about more regarding Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, there are definitely issues with Kingdom Hearts 3, but the way that they handled all the art design and direction with that was so good.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing that more in Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Next story we got here. I don't know how to say the company's name, so I apologize if I butcher it, but Edia is going to port the PC Engine East, Dragon Slayer, Legend of Heroes games, and the Legend of Xanadu games to modern platforms. So this company is known for porting, doing the ports for like the Valis collections and the Cosmic Fantasy collections. And yeah, they're porting 7 games. They're porting East 1 and 2, East 3, East 4, The Dawn of East, Dragon Slayer, The Legend of Heroes 1 and 2, The Legend of Xanadu 1 and 2, and it's supposed to come out sometime between the fiscal years of 2026 and 2027. Dope. This is like something that I never thought they would do. And so it's very cool that it's being done. I really want like all of the older like Legend of Heroes games
I was about to
before
ask,
the Trail series started.
Yeah.
And get those.
Is that for Dragon Slayer, is 1 and 2 like a complete thing, or were there other games in that particular like subset of stories?
If I remember correctly, there's 6 like Dragon Slayer Legend of Heroes
Yeah.
games. Like before Trails, there's 6 games.
Hmm.
I know that I don't know about the first two if those are like kind of like an East 1 and 2 situation, but I know East or Dragon's Legend of Heroes 3 is called like something White Witch. It's like a really beloved like JRPG, but it never got an official localization in the US. And yeah, so it's literally called Legend of Heroes 3 The White Witch. Um and the Geofront team that did the localizations for the Crossbell arc, Trails from Zero Trails to Azure, before they were asked by NIS America to help with the official localization, that's how I played the Crossbell arc initially, was through the Geofront. They're doing the White Witch next. So when that's done, I'm playing that basically immediately.
And then looking up right now, so yeah, it does look like the Dragon Slayer 1 and 2 is considered its own subseries. And then White Witch starts another subseries that is 3 games long.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the breakdown. So I was just curious if like, with these Dragon Slayer ones, is it like, oh cool, we can finally play like 1 and 2, and then it's just like where's the rest of that plot go? Like where are those games?
Yeah.
So that is a complete package, it looks like story-wise. And then I don't know the intentional pronunciation for this, but the next subseries is the Gagharv? Gogharv? Gagharv. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, those are that's like the next trio, which I think some of those did come to the US. I think Tear of a Million was like a PSP game or something, if I recall. And then another one called Song on Ocean, which I don't think we got. But yeah.
Yeah, because I think the White Witch specifically, I think it got a release in Japan on the PSP, but it didn't. I don't think it ever came west.
No, okay, they did all come. They all 3 of those ones did come out on PSP in the West.
In the West?
Yeah.
Really?
It does look like that, yeah.
Huh. Then why are they doing a localization project for it?
I mean, it might be, well, just because it came out doesn't mean that it was a good localization back then. I'm not looking at specific reviews or thoughts on it, so it could be one of those situations where, like, yeah, it was released here, but the localization was not it. It's like when Persona got re-released on, like the original Persona, when the PSP version came out, they redid the localization because the PlayStation version took so many strange liberties and redesigned characters and was just not really the same game in some ways. So it could be one of those situations.
Okay, I am getting some weird information just based off of this fandom wiki page, because it says The Legend of Heroes 3 White Witch released in North America as The Legend of Heroes 2 Prophecy of the Moonlight Witch is a role-playing game developed and published by Neon Falcom for PC 98 and 1994, and the first installment in the Gagharv trilogy. That's what I'm going to call it. It was licensed to Hudson and GFM for a Sega Saturn and PS1 version, respectively. Before the release of The Legend of Heroes 5, Cage Song of the Ocean, Falcom re-released the game on Windows. Bandai's remake for PSP was released in North America in 2006 as the second title of the Gagharov trilogy, but chronologically, it is the final chapter taking place 49 years after. So now that I'm reading it out loud, it changes things. Okay, so hold on. On January 6th, 2023, the Geofront, the group whose translations were used as the basis for the official English language localizations of Trails from Zero and Trails to Azure, announced plans to release a new English language localization of White Witch. So I assume, based off of what we just read there, the localization was not great for that PSP release, which is why I thought that it never got ported. Interesting. Okay. Also very interesting that White Witch is like chronologically the last of the trilogy, but it's the first game.
I mean, it's like Dragon Quest, yeah. Like you do the like flashback or whatever.
Yeah, I just don't know. I guess I'm like so like locked in on the hearing the Legend of Heroes and thinking like, oh, all of this is going to be connected in a major way.
Sure.
That I just like assume that that's what's going to be the case for this, and maybe it's not. Maybe it is more of a Dragon Quest Erdrick trilogy situation.
Right. Or it's like Revelations or something, right? It's like, yeah, you saw the story played out, but now you see like how things got where they were or whatever. Yeah. And
But yeah,
actually, looking up old reviews, I am seeing a few people talk about the PSP version of White Witch just being like, yeah, this is like a generally solid game, but the I think RPG fan specifically was calling out the English translation was just not good. So that makes sense that
because
they'd be redoing it.
it was done by Bandai, and so Bandai, at least like at least of the past 10 years or so, like
Yeah, but it could
they're
be that like this wasn't a high priority project or something. Maybe they didn't give as many
sure,
resources. Especially because it only got released on PSP here. It wasn't like a big. It wasn't a Tales game. You know what I mean?
sure, yeah. Um, Next story. Uh, we're doing this more for our our art guy Brian Heemskirk. We're doing this for him, but
Little
he
shout
was
out.
yeah, he did the art for a new indie game that's that's got a Kickstarter. It's started already. There's a Kickstarter link. The game is called Radiant Starlets, Starlets, and it's being pitched as a Mega Man style action platformer cross dating sim. Um, we got to see a trailer for this game before its announcement, and this game looks super sick,
Yeah.
super cool. I feel like you're more of a Mega Man guy than I am. Like,
Mhm.
what are your thoughts on it? Just like unbiased thoughts.
Yeah, no. I really. I mean, obviously, I like Brian's art direction because we've been working with him, and there's a reason we work with him because we like what he's done in the past. And
Yeah.
I really enjoy what we've been seeing in this game so far as like the visual style of it, because it is. I think the Mega Man elements are obvious in terms of the like UI design and general like, oh yeah, you're jump and shoot man. Uh, but the art style is a bit more. How do I say this? It's just a different style where it's like much more defined pixels. It's not trying to go for like an old like SNES era aesthetic. It's not 16-bit. Like there's a look to this that I really like for the character designs. That yeah, based on the trailers we gotten at least, I don't entirely know how like the dating sim aspect fully works out. It's like okay, like I've seen a lot of the combat, and then it's like oh, then there's this dating element, and like there's mini games and there's like stuff that's like showing what that is, but I still don't know. It's one of those things where I'm seeing the pieces, but I don't know what the overall framework looks like. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And so I'm very curious what that actual flow is like.
Yeah, so there is some details that have been shared because this is a Kickstarter game, right? So they have to like have a
Yeah.
really good pitch to be like, "Here, take my money." Um so the story setup is welcome to the futuristic world of Radiant Starlets, an HD 2D style action platformer in the vein of classic Mega Man games, but you can date all the bosses. Interesting. Jump, dash, and dodge your way through 8 action-packed stages and escape the clutches of those who would possess you for themselves. Your skills, timing, and agility are the key to your success. Radiant Starlets is designed with replayability in mind. Each playthrough with a different romantic partner will have you unlock new minigames, armor sets, and a unique ending. The Radiant Starlets is set in a world facing challenges that develop from its advanced technological progress. In a bleak future where the world's population is on the brink of collapse, you play as Dream, the only perfect companion robot ever built, designed to be the ideal partner. You must avoid the grip of the starlets who seek to claim you as their own. Your permanent power supply has been broken and split into 8 pieces that you need to retrieve, or else you will run out of power within the year. Each piece that you gather will bring you closer to understanding what you really are. Explore the stages and find your armor sets and upgrades for your health and power-ups. Uncover secret routes and collect your parts so that so you can continue to survive and escape your would-be captors, as well as learn a bit more about your potential partner. Yeah, so there's that's kind of like the little pitch there. There's more details as well. You can check out their Kickstarter. Again, the game's called Radiant Starlets. But game looks awesome, and I'm gonna drop some money before the Kickstarter ends. They are trying to raise 100,000 Canadian dollars, which is not a little. So, yeah, if y'all are interested in that, check it out. We'll try. We'll be sure to have the Kickstarter link in the description of this episode on our YouTube for so that people can find it easily. So best of luck to that team, and best of luck to Brian. We got some quickies now. Metal Gear Solid has sold officially 1 million copies. The Delta Snake Eater. Square Enix has released the specs for Octopath Traveler 0. So some notable things: Switch 2 is running at will run 1080p, 60 frames per second. Nintendo Switch is 720p, 30 frames per second. PS5 4K, 120 FPS. Assuming that your TV or monitor can do that.
Yeah.
Supports it. PS4 1080 60. Xbox Series X 4K 120. Xbox Series S 1080 120. And then PC depends on what your rig is, but it does all the things.
The really interesting thing about this is the platform also limits how much you can build your town.
Yes.
There's a max object limit, which I'm willing to bet this is one of the situations where the vast majority of players are not going to get anywhere close to this amount. But if you're the type where you want to place every individual tree and really design it down as much as you can, you're that Animal Crossing player kind of thing. Switch 2 is a limit of 400. Original Switch is only 250. That's the lowest limit out of all of them. And then basically all modern platforms otherwise are 500. PS4 is 400. So interesting little extra limitation there. If you want to put as much crap as possibly down as you want, PS5, Xbox, and PC are the way to go.
Yes. Digimon Story Time Stranger is getting a demo. I did not know this was being developed by Media Vision. That's a good sign. Yeah. So it's getting a demo for PC on Steam. It should be out by the time this episode is out publicly. And then it's going to and then same thing for PS5 and Xbox Series consoles. The PC one was just coming out earlier, but by the time this comes out, it should be out for all the platforms. So cool. Dope. And then lastly, which happened while we were podcasting, Star Ocean First Departure R is getting a physical release, baby. That makes me very happy.
Me too. And, I gotta hear that.
Yeah, it is. Now, it is being done by Limited Run, guys, which is actually kind of cool because that means that they're starting to work with Square. If Square isn't going to print these games, let Limited Run do it. You know what I mean?
Because Square was for a little while doing stuff where you could get physicals directly through them for certain games, but it was always a little inconsistent which games were getting that support and which weren't. And as much as I like a lot of Square Enix games, honestly, the online storefront for buying physical is not great. Every time a collector's edition is released, and it's only
Square Enix store is a nightmare.
No,
it's a nightmare.
Why? Yeah, it's not a good experience. So, I know people have their beef with Limited Run. Some of it very warranted and understandable. But honestly, I'm happy to see that at least Square's trying to keep some extra physicals alive through a partnership. If that's the only way they're gonna make it happen.
Yes, agreed. And as someone who was actually planning on buying this game in the near future,
after I hyped you up 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, dog. Yeah. Cool. That's dope. So there's 3 versions. There's the standard version, and to be clear, this is only on PS4 and Switch. One. No PS5, no Xbox, no PC.
Yeah. Which I think is true for the digital version as well. I think they didn't put that on a lot of things.
Yeah. So some collector's editions that Limited Run does now, they do a PC version. So I just wanted to make that clear. The pre-order window is from September 12th to October 26th, so it starts this Friday. So there's the standard edition, which does come with a booklet, a manual, it looks like, which is dope. There is the Steelbook Bundle Edition, which is probably the one I'm going to go for. It comes with a 2-sided poster, a slip case that fits the game and the steelbook, and that's it. We don't know exactly. Oh wait, hold on. What are the prices here? So the standard edition is 40. The steelbook edition is 80.
Damn.
And then the yeah, that's a lot for a poster and a steelbook, but
Yeah. Doubling it? That's yeah.
it might be a Square Enix licensing thing.
No, sure. Well, and that I feel like I've seen that happen with a lot of limited run special editions lately. Like even the stuff they've done in Sega, it's like, why is that collector so expensive? Like for
Yeah.
that game specifically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Raito
Uh
is up there too.
and then Raito I think was one that I wanted to get that I didn't have the money and I just passed on it. And then the Ultimate Edition comes with everything that I previously mentioned, plus an enable pin, a keychain, 4 standees, a certificate of authenticity, individually numbered, the soundtrack CD, and a light and sound 3D display cube of like the party fighting some creature. I don't know what the creature is.
Yep.
And that's for $200.
I mean, that at least, I mean, that I still think that's a lot of money for what you're getting, but
that's
that
a
makes
lot.
more sense to me than the Steelbook one, to be honest. Like,
Oh yeah.
the Steelbook is quite a jump for a Steelbook and a poster.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and one thing I will say, because again, normally I don't have a bad experience with limited run. That being said, one of the things that I did take issue with was like they've been doing slowly but surely they've been doing the Sam and Max trilogy. And I bought I don't know why they sold it at that time because not all 3 are out yet, but they did one of the they did like a slipcase that was supposed to hold all 3 games for when all 3 of them come out. And I bought that because I bought the first one. I think I bought the second one too. And then I'm waiting for the third one. And when it came, there was like nothing in the case to like stop it from like bending or anything. So that slip case came in, it was basically destroyed.
yeah.
It was like, oh, this is not, yeah. So that sucks. So I'm hoping because of there's a slip case with like the game and the steelbook, I hope it's like literally sealed with the game and the steelbook inside the slip case. That is like my one potential worry about that. But outside of that, 100% copping this. 100% copping this.
No, I've been wanting a physical for this game for a while because I really like everyone like rightfully so. 2 is the one that a lot of people are always like gassing up the most. But I really like First Departure. There's absolutely some things about it where it's like, oh yeah, this is the first one, and they were definitely figuring some things out, and it's a little bare bones in some parts. But there's also a lot of stuff that is for its time. I just think is the coolest damn thing that they did. So yeah, I definitely want to grab that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited now. I was already gonna play it, but like now I'm just like, yes, this is cool, and I'm hoping that again, if Square's not gonna do their own thing themselves, that someone is gonna do it for them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Are there any other upcoming games we know about that aren't getting a physical? I feel like there's a couple for Square that like right now. I'm trying to remember because we are getting physicals for. We're not getting for all platforms, but like Tactics is getting physical, obviously. Dragon Quest.
Everything that's coming out this year is getting physical outside of if we're not talking like game key cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Awesome. Oh, because there are definitely some games that Square released that didn't get a physical at all, similar to First Departure. That
or didn't get one in our region at least. Yeah.
Maybe there's a chance, like The Last Remnant remastered, that didn't get a physical release anywhere.
True.
Could see that getting something. But yeah, Kevin, I don't know how I want to go about this because normally, I like us to do a little bit of a back and forth.
Yeah, but I know what you're gonna ask. Just do it. Just do it. Pull the Band-Aid.
Are you okay?
I am now.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
I am.
Are
now.
you okay?
I am now.
You posted on socials yesterday. Today is September 9th. So yesterday at on September 8th, you said that you rolled credits on Hollow Knight Silksong 3 times.
I feel like I need to clarify something real quick if you have not
No,
played.
I know, and here's the thing. I was gonna say I'm gonna need some
Yeah,
clarification here.
yeah.
Like, are we talking about like is this new game plus runs or
No.
or is this like
So the game has multiple endings, but it's the situation where when you like finish one, you can just load up your save file and like do what you got to do. So I
okay.
did, yeah. So I did. I will say this game is far larger than I thought it was going to be, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, I didn't do like 3 fresh start to finish runs. I did play a lot, like a lot. I'm at 98% completion, I think.
Oh, I thought you said 98 hours. I would have been like, that's not
That is
possible.
not.
That's
That is
not
yeah. That is
possible.
physically impossible. I do think I might be at like 46,
That sounds right though. That's still
46,
a lot
48.
though.
It's a lot. It's a
Here's the thing.
lot for 4
I
days, four
I
and a half days.
can't I can't judge you. I can't judge you. I know I've been there with some games.
You,
I did that with Kingdom Hearts 3
I just
where
call it.
I like
I
did
just
nothing but play that game and slept for 3 days or
Yeah,
something.
no, and I got a couple things done in the middle of it, but yeah, like sometimes I play certain games and I just refer to it as like I gotta purge the demon. I just like I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it this much. The pacing is this on point where I'm just gonna constantly find something to run and do right now, and I'm never gonna actually feel like there's a good stopping point because I just want to keep playing. Uh, and
I gotta purge the
I
demon.
just gotta be done. I know because my brain is gonna be too hyper fixated on like trying to play through this thing, and so I just gotta get it done. I just gotta run through it. I especially feel it in games like this because Metroidvanias, I always get worried about like stopping and coming back, and then it's like, where was I exploring? Where did I go? Where did I not go? What was I trying to get done right now? And particularly in the case of Silksong, like I don't want to get rusty. I know how to play right now, and I got the combat down. I do not need to,
Sure.
because man, this game, like, did you play Hollow Knight? I forget.
Define played Hollow Knight. I have not beaten Hollow Knight. I've
Okay,
played Hollow
okay.
Knight.
So Hollow Knight, like, it starts off fairly like it's not very difficult at the very start, but like once you get to kind of the midpoint, it gets pretty. It's a pretty tough game. Like, there's some hard parts. Silksong was absolutely designed with the idea of like, hey, you played Hollow Knight, right? Like you did all that, so they like it still eases you in a little bit, but like the enemy difficulty is just immediately a lot higher. Like they really like hit you with some tough stuff right away. Um and I ate up every goddamn moment of it. It's a good
It
game.
is clear. It is clear.
It is a good game, guys. It's a good game. I think this is the strongest argument for let them cook that I've ever seen. Like,
Mm.
don't get me wrong. I realize that there's such a thing as exceptions, and not every game that's going to take forever with radio silence is going to end up being great, obviously. But goddamn, does it also not mean that you need to assume things are going terribly? Because this is just absolutely the result of 3 core devs took their time, kept making stuff, kept doing things that they thought were fun, made the game they wanted to make, and holy shit, does it just come through? Like I like Hollow Knight a lot. I think Silksong is bigger and better in basically every possible way. Just like the art direction, the music, uh, some of the like boss fight designs, the environments, the overall pacing, the storytelling, like just everything feels like they really like Hollow Knight. It's kind of a fun story of part of the reason why Hollow Knight released was because they just ran out of money, so they had to. Like it was like this is it. Like we just had to stop, and they added more in DLC later. Silksong is like, oh, we have budget now, and we're just gonna do it as long as we want because we, that game Hollow Knight did numbers, and it's 3 guys that none of them are trying to live beyond their means very much. Like I think one guy lives in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
um but yeah, just a really goddamn good game. Huge, so much bigger than I would have expected. Like I mentioned earlier, I think I'm at like 46 hours or something, and that's doing a lot of like very late game. I'm rerunning through areas and trying to find things I missed and that kind of thing. But
Sure.
like I was in constant awe every so many hours in where I was like, I didn't know this zone existed. Like, how am I this far in this game and played this game this long and didn't know that like this was here? Absolutely massive map compared to Hollow Knight. Like the amount of base content in here is nuts compared to Hollow Knight. Like I was looking back at my Hollow Knight save file that's like mostly done, it was like 23 hours. And I'm at double that now with Silksong. Couple things I want to shout out real quick as far as just like specific stuff because I don't want to get too spoilery about things, but a couple mechanical changes that I think just really do it a good service. Um, well, actually, one, this isn't mechanical, but it's narrative. Uh, you know me, I'm generally pretty cool with silent protagonists. And in the case of Hollow Knight, the knight in that game is literally a silent protagonist. It's not like a, oh, you don't hear what they say. It's like, no, characters comment like, you're just kind of a weird little guy, huh? You don't really say much, do you? Silksong, we know Hornet speaks because she was in Hollow Knight, and so you actually get more dialogue. You have actual like back and forths with characters. They spell out some of the like lore and plot stuff a little bit more. Like you might have to go out of your way to talk to NPCs a bit more often, but like they really try to like give you details a bit more in this one that I think gives it a bit more narrative strength, which is really nice. Um, and then I think the biggest gameplay change that I really like, and I feel like I didn't engage with enough, even though I like it so much, crests. So in Hollow Knight, you have like your base move set, and you get new abilities as you progress, but it's all part of your like core kit. Uh, in this game, you have abilities you get that are necessary for platforming and reaching new areas, et cetera, et cetera. But for combat, you can equip different crests that actually change your move set and like how certain abilities work. Uh, so, for instance, I unlocked one called Wanderer, which is basically the Hollow Knight moveset, but with a couple other little changes and additions. That's focused on like very short range, quick slash, mobility type stuff. And that was awesome. But there's like another one you get early on where you have like a slower slash with a greater reach. It changes the characteristics of your like dive ability, which changes how you can like pogo on enemies to deal tons of damage. Uh, some of them give you like crazy different alternate effects where it's like, oh, instead of your heal healing you, it puts you in like a berserker mode, and when you hit enemies, you heal. And there's some late game ones I don't want to like get into the specifics of, but they have such very interesting changes to how the combat flows. Where it's like, it's cool that's a late game reward. I wish you could get it earlier or have it at the start of like New Game Plus because I want to like really mess with this playstyle more, and I don't have much time now because it's the end of the game. Um, yeah, just really interesting options as far as like being able to play it your way a little bit more like player build going on instead of just like, oh, what charms do you use like in Hollow Knight. Um, and again, just I feel like anything you liked about Hollow Knight, there is just more of it and better in this. Like I know there was kind of some worry with how long it was going on and how we didn't hear anything for so long. I it was worth it. It was worth all the memes, all the silence. I think I actually, in retrospect, prefer the silence because I was able to just take so much stuff in freshly, and it wasn't just like, oh, they drip feeded me. Here's 17 different bosses and all the biomes or whatever. Like, no, like I really got to experience so much stuff with fresh eyes and worth it.
I'm so happy for you.
It's so
I'm
good.
so happy for you.
Like,
Because I like I've tried to get into Hollow Knight a few times, and I always kind of get to the same point where I'm just like, okay,
I think a large part of it for me is that one, I just like Metroidvanias, like in general. Like that's just a
I like
genre I really,
Metroidvanias too.
yeah.
I just it's just I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say that like I enjoy Metroidvanias, and then I would not call Hollow Knight a Souls like, but there absolutely is like Souls inspiration, like very hard to not see that. And it's the stuff from Souls games that I like. The method of storytelling, the focus on like exploration and like bits and pieces of assembling what the greater world looks like. There's like just a tonal aspect to it as well. Uh, it's just such a good mishmash of like things that my brain specifically enjoys, and it's
Yeah.
executed very well.
So I have a question, and I never cared to look it up myself enough, but because it because we're talking about it, this might be spoilers for the first Hollow Knight. So if you care about spoilers for the first Hollow Knight, jump ahead a few minutes. Um, why are we playing as Hornet? Why are we not playing as the Hollow Knight
So
guy.
there's two reasons to that. Reason one,
Okay.
that was just what the Kickstarter goal was back in the day. This was originally so Silksong started off as a expansion that was a stretch goal for the Kickstarter. So
Interesting.
it was like,
Okay.
oh, we're gonna make like, yeah, we'll make a side story thing where you play as Hornet, and then because Hollow Knight did as well as it did, and they kept adding that game as much as they did, uh, they just were like, hey, you know what? Actually, our ideas for Silksong are getting bigger and bigger. We're just going to make this a whole game. And they even respected that to Kickstarter backers. They weren't like, oh, like,
Yes.
you know, like if you backed the game to get the DLC, like you're getting Silksong as part of that.
Yeah.
And that was also why they didn't do any early copy stuff because they were like, technically, this is
Yes.
us fulfilling Kickstarter stuff. We don't want to give early copies to anyone. We want like our backers to get their stuff the same time everyone else does. So that's part of it. The base pitch was just right at the gate. You're playing as a different character. Um, as far as like narrative reasons, I mean, it just ties into like Hollow Knight does have multiple endings, but for most of them, it makes sense that you would not be playing as the Knight again. Really, for all the endings, it would make sense you're not playing as the Knight again. Um,
So you don't think in like a a non and a non DLC turned into a full game Hollow Knight entry, you don't think that we're gonna play as that character again?
I don't think we're ever playing as the Knight again. No, and I
Okay.
mean, like, sure. At the end of the day, people make what they want to make and can come up with reasons for why something works. But I think based on what's been happening in the plot of now both games, I feel like the night is done.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Do you have any ideas on, without going into spoilers, just a yes or no, I guess. Do you like have any ideas on who the next Hollow Knight character play like, would be
I don't.
after Silksong?
Yeah, I don't know. I could
Okay.
see. Yeah, like that's the thing. I don't even know what their plan is at this point, right? Because with Silksong, we knew Silksong was happening because again, it started off as a stretch goal,
Yeah.
and now it's like technically they have now fully finished, uh, like their original promises. So it's kind of
Yeah.
an open book at this point. Like technically, they could work on a new IP if they wanted to. They could just do like effectively Hollow Knight 3, whatever title you want to go with these. Um, uh,
Does the stories feel finished based after you finished
I mean,
Silksong or
it's one of those things where it's kind of episodic a little bit because part of what happens with Silksong is it's sort of like, oh, Hornet like ends up in this place and you resolve it's very Ys in a sense. You know what I mean? It's like you could keep
okay.
doing stories and you could keep using Hornet if you wanted. But it's like you just like person ends up in this place within this world and you resolve the things going on in that place. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like,
No, that makes sense.
yeah.
Cool. I don't really have much more to say on it, or to ask because like it sounds like it's more Hollow Knight. And I know that again they did change some mechanics around. But I'm just like not a Hollow Knight guy. Um, I hope I am in the future, but again, I've played it a few times and it hasn't really stuck with me. Um, but cool. I yeah, I didn't want to start with you because again, I have 3 games to talk about and I don't want to just be yapping one-sidedly for that
I'll
long.
give you some banter.
But
I'll give you some banter.
but when you're just like when I see, oh yeah, I rolled credits 3 times, I'm like, what? No way, dog. Are you good? Um, but no, that's gonna be me. That's gonna be me with Trails in a couple of weeks. So I can't blame you because yeah, literally that game's gonna come out and you're not gonna hear from me for a few days.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be off the grid for a few
Yeah.
days. But anyway, I want to start with Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion. Because well, I'll say why, but first off, shout out to Exceed and Marvelous for sending a code. I'm just gonna say it right off the bat. This game fucking rips. This game fucking rips. I think it's like sitting around a 70 on Metacritic, and I'm like, y'all
God.
are playing a different game than I am.
Yeah.
Y'all are playing. Y'all got a different game than I got because this game. And to be clear, like there are issues with this game.
Sure.
Like I'm not
What
saying like this
platform are
is.
you on too?
I'm playing on the Switch too.
Okay.
It's a Switch 2 PC game.
Yeah.
That's it. So, and I will say that like, uh, again, if I had to like put a number on it currently, like it's probably like an 8 out of 10 for me
Mhm.
because like but like man, you know how we were talking about a few episodes ago about like those games that like just do some really cool shit even if it's like not the most like well running performance wise or well, you know, or technically sound game than most of like you know the 9 out of 10s, the 10 out of 10s that we get nowadays. This is that. Like this game does a lot of really cool shit that suffers because it doesn't have a bunch of like you know, because it's on the Switch too.
Yeah.
Like I'm honestly like this is one of those rare instances where I'm just like, damn, like I kind of wish I played this on PC
Mhm.
because but here's the thing though. I don't know if it is a optimization slash performance thing for me that I really take issue with, or if it's playing it on a controller.
Oh.
Because there are a lot of systems in this game. They're like a surprising amount. Like this game has surprised me in only good ways.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, oh, this is a lot more in depth. This is a lot more cool than I thought it would be. Um, and I just continuously digging this game to the point where last night I was I kept thinking because you know when like you like a game a lot more than other people and you're just like maybe I'm off base. Like maybe I'm over
No, no.
like
It's
I'm
the
glazing
children
this
who are
up.
wrong. Yeah.
And then something gets introduced to me where I just get validated immediately. I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm totally right. This game fucking rocks. Everyone else is wrong. They don't get it. They don't know ball." That's like how I'm feeling with this game right now. Um
Okay.
it's really cool, Kevin. I'm gonna
No, I
this
mean,
is the longest
I
this is
enjoyed
the
the
longest I'm gonna talk
original,
about.
so, like,
I never played I never played the original,
yeah.
so you know. So they set up the story from the get-go. They're basically talking about like, "Oh, there was this planet and then a bunch of people migrated and they eventually kind of like mutated in a way or evolved where they now have like these powers and so like even though they're humans you know the people on the planet are like they're different species than they are and there's this huge war all this stuff so you basically you get to customize your character you know listen, I did the best with the tools that they got me to look like me. I think I shared it to you. It's like this is the best I could do with the character
Yeah,
creator in this
you
game.
did send that to me, yeah.
Um, and so you uh you wake up from this like tank basically, and you get into a suit of armor. Now you may know this because you play Daemon X Machina. Apparently, Daemon X Machina it is more of a traditional like mech game where you're inside like a giant mech,
Yeah.
like a Gundam
Yep.
type deal.
Yeah, Armored Core,
This is
very
not.
coded.
Yeah, this is not that. This is more of like you were. Well, this is more like Iron Man suit,
Yeah, power armor.
if that makes sense. Power armor.
Yeah.
That's a great way of thinking explaining it. So, because I know like a lot of people were like disappointed when they heard that switch happened.
Mhm.
Um, but
I
anyway,
I kinda think it's cooler, to be honest. I mean, it's weird because it's a shift, but also I think it's hard to do mech, I think, especially because, like, Armored Core exists and came back, like, from finally used it again.
mm,
I feel like there's not a great power armor even though it's basically just the same thing at a slightly different scale, like, I think there's the only thing that even happened was when BioWare made that I can't remember the name right now, but it crashed and burned so hard.
Anthem,
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 yeah. Like Anthem
which
was like the only thing that
that game
really
fucking ruled, guys. Like it. No, that game was fun. That game was fun.
yeah. Uh but it did crash and burn.
Yes, 100%,
Yeah.
100%.
So I feel like there's less direct competition and it's something where it's like, oh, like this concept's here up for the grabs. Like no one else is making like cool power armor stuff right now, so do that. So I
Yeah.
think I like that shift personally.
Yeah, and so basically, you know, you can fly, you have all that stuff. So basically you have like your life, you have a stamina bar, and then you have this currency like this like resource called femto. And femto, I don't know if this sounds familiar to you from the first game, but femto is basically like it allows you to fly, it allows you to like do certain things and it uses up your femto.
Yeah, it's like fuel.
Um
Yeah.
yeah, That's a yes. And so I never really thought about it like that until now.
Yeah, it's very
It's
much like
fuel.
it's very
It's
much like a
fuel.
fuel slash energy meter type deal. It's just like, oh, your generator is
100%.
putting out however much stuff, so this allows you to do your cool things like maneuverability and such, but you can't do it constantly because otherwise, yeah, it's a fancy mech version of stamina.
Yes. So uh basically you have two primary weapons on your right hand and your left hand, and they could be like guns, they could be swords, they could be a shield, they could be uh and you have two-handed weapons, so you can have like a bazooka, like that type of thing. And then you have like two like reserve weapons. So these are weapons you can switch to on the fly, which I like, but I also one of my issues with the game is that it does this thing that I feel like just no game should do anymore, is like when you have all these different equipment that you have to go to a specific location to change it. Stop it. Where it's 2025, we're not doing that anymore. Let's stop that now.
Mhm.
One of my small criticisms. And so because the thing is like when you kill enemies, sometimes they'll like leave stuff for you to be able to pick up. And there will be like a list of different things that you can pick up, and you can only choose one. Once you choose one, the body disintegrates, it goes away, that type of thing. And so you can switch weapons if you find something new, but if you want to like change your loadout any more than that, you have to go to a location. And that upsets me.
Mm.
And so yeah, so the combat is, and then you also have like shoulder weapons. You have a shoulder weapon, which is normally like missile rockets or like something like that. Very cool. And then you have an auxiliary weapon, which can be like grenades or reserve ammo, things like that. So that's that. Um, the way that this game opens up is sick. You're basically like on this ship and you're trying to like escape and with your friend, and it ends up like it's really sick. It's honestly like cool enough where I don't want to say what happens because I just don't want to spoil. Like I just don't want to spoil it. It was definitely a moment where it's like, oh wow, this game is like doing more. It was the first moment where I was like, oh, this game's doing more than I expected of it.
Yeah.
And so very cool. And then you basically end up on this planet, the main planet, and you are it's very deserty vibes. Like I wouldn't like, the world in and of itself isn't very interesting to look at. But the combat is like it's really good. It's really good. I really enjoy it. There is like a jank to, and that's the thing I was talking about with the controls earlier, is that
Yeah.
there's a jankiness to it,
Sure.
but it doesn't really bother me.
Uh-huh.
It's like I recognize it, but like I don't care.
Right.
And so you use your triggers to do your right and your left.
Yep.
So I've been running like a sword in my right hand because that just makes more sense. You're swinging your sword right hand,
Sure.
and then left trigger I'm using a gun, some sort of gun.
Mhm.
So right now I have like this laser blade, and then I have like a laser rifle. And yeah, you just like you fly, you have a lock on toggle.
Mhm.
So if you want to fight enemies, and like there is this jankiness to it where like if you get close, you like might try and swing for an attack, and you'll like miss completely.
Yeah.
But like then you'll just like start getting into it, and you have like this quick dodge, and like there's a lot of systems at play here when it comes to the combat. And there's when you get to a certain point in the game that I'll talk to, which is probably the most fascinating aspect of the game. You have like weapon skills. And so like because when you look at like your controller settings, the amount of, again, just like you just like look at the list of things of like button controls, where normally like when I see something like that, or I see something that I'm just like not interested in, my eyes glaze over and I'm like, I'm so checked out of this. This was like an eye widening type deal where I was just like, wow, you were trying to do a lot on a controller. And so I think that because when you're flying, you jump up, you press B to start flying, and then you have to press B twice to stop flying, and then you have to like all these like very like certain button presses that you don't do in most games.
Sure.
You don't do in most video games.
Yeah.
And there's like layers to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the combat's really fun. Um, I really enjoy it. And then when you kill people, you get like this currency that you use that once you get to your base, you can upgrade your base. Because you have like currency, I forgot what it's called, but it's like these cubes, and then you have like normal money. So those are like the two different currencies throughout. Um, and the story is like the localization is very good. And it really like just reminds me that Xseed are some of the best in the biz when it comes to like localizing their games. It's well written. I'm invested in like what's happening in the story. And like one of the highest compliments I can give this game is that like even though this character is a customizable character, this character has characterization. This is a fucking character that just happens to be whoever you want it to be.
Sure.
Like they have a personality. They have they're like very like I don't want to say aggressive, but aggressive is probably the best word I'm looking for right now, where like uh they don't like the situation that they're in. They don't like they're really like cautious of like the people that they have to work with because you know they're humans and they're called outers. That's like what the outer off planet humans are called. And yeah, the character is actually doing something and it feels realized, and I really love that.
Mhm.
I could not tell you the last time I played a game where you make a customized character, you're putting them into the story that has like a distinct beginning, middle, and end, and they feel like that they're their own character that that exists in this world.
Right, they're not a sound
In a
protagonist, they're not a picking
yeah,
options kind of thing, like, no,
100%.
this is this character, you just got to decide how they look.
Exactly. And I really like it. Um Now, so you have this base of operations, and there's a bunch of different things. There's shops. There's like this is how you like accept missions, side quests, and things like that. But the most interesting thing about it is that there's a laboratory, and the laboratory you basically can give yourself skills depending on what weapon you're using. You assign it to
Mhm.
whatever weapon, and when you decide to like study this action or this skill or whatever, you mutate. You change, like the way that you look changes.
Mhm.
And that's like that's super cool to me. Like
Yeah,
it's
like seeing the
scary, but it's
character
also
evolve,
cool.
like, yeah.
Yeah, dude. So like so one of the abilities that I thought was really and to be clear, these abilities are really fucking cool. They're cool abilities. So like so my main weapon right now again is the laser blade, and it's very powerful compared to everything else that I have. Um and the ability that I got, which again, doing a lot of stuff with controller, the way that you activate the ability is that you have to press A first and then the trigger.
Mhm.
And so you press A in the trigger, and then he goes puts the sword onto his other side, and it just like beams up like super big and just does this huge wide slash, and it's just like this is so cool, dog. And then there's another one where you literally just lightsaber throw. You literally just and throw the sword into like a bunch of enemies, and it's just like this is so sick. Like again, it's just like these little things that just I just did not expect from this game, dude,
Mhm.
that are just so cool and just adds to the action of it all. And so you unlock these abilities, you don't get to just unlock them by having like enough currency. You have to get the genes from these creatures that or the people that you fight. They drop these genes, and then you have to like have them available so that you can be like, okay, I want to unlock this skill now. So it makes you want to like have to engage with the enemies and the worlds, because a lot of the stuff that they drop, it could be equipment, but it could also be like development data to unlock new weapons that you can just create instead of like, I don't know how much I'm going to really um engage with that stuff because I feel like I'm getting good uh new armor and weapons by just killing people and picking up their stuff. but it's still cool. Like it's they're adding they have all these like systems at play that I really just did not expect from this game
Mhm.
that like make me want to engage with the game more and more and more. And it just sucks because I'm playing like there's so many other things that I'm playing right now, and I really want to just play this. Like I really like, and it's not even like a negative to the other games I'm playing because I'm enjoying those games too. But these are like this game has just been surprising me in so many different ways, and I've only played the game for maybe like 3 or 4 hours,
Mhm.
and I'm just like, this is so cool. This is so cool. This is so cool. And as I was saying last night, right? I was like, maybe I'm overhyping this game. Because again, there's a jankiness to it,
Yeah.
100%. And I'm curious as to how that game would play on PC with, better performance, better optimization, as well as a mouse and keyboard. I don't play mouse and keyboard, so I would need someone to like experience that and like report back to me. But I'm curious about that. Or at the very least, on a more powerful console. Like if this was on Xbox Series X, I would just be like, yep, that's the way I want to play that game.
Right.
But the last thing I wanted to say is that when I was hyping up this game last night, like, oh, am I overthinking it? Am I being too high in this game? I unlock a bike, right? I unlock a bike, and apparently when you're riding it, you can transform it into dual laser cannons onto your suit. And I was just like, no, this is peak. This is peak gaming right here. It was so cool, dude. I was just like, it like literally like wraps around your body, and then you have these two like it looks like rail guns in more reality. But then these two just like laser beams just shoot out of it, and you're just like, I'm like, this is so cool.
Yeah. No, rule of cool. Rule of cool is very important. A lot of
Yeah.
people, some folks don't emphasize rule of cool enough sometimes. Like,
Yes.
just cool shit you can do.
That is what this game is. Like, if you are a rule of cool guy, this game has a lot of cool shit. And it's, again, it feels, if I don't want to go as far to say it feels ambitious. I think it feels ambitious just because of like how it's performing on Switch 2.
Mm.
Like, I think that if it, because the demo that I played at SGF did not do this game justice as I've been playing through it.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, okay, you have a mech and you're shooting around and things like that. I had no sense of what was going on in the story, like all that stuff. But now that I've like started from the beginning, I've been introduced to all the systems as it's been going along. I'm like, this game fucking rocks. And like the fact that it's averaging 70 on Metacritic to me is crazy. Like, again, Switch 2 performance could definitely be better. It doesn't take me out of the experience though in a major way. But if you do care about performance and you want this to be like a seamless experience, absolutely get this on PC.
Yeah.
100%. And to the point where I'm still probably going to play this all the way through on Switch 2. But if I decide I want to play this game again, I will probably buy the PC version and just experience it that way and just play it with a controller. Because I'm just curious as to like how it performs on PC in that way. But really great stuff. Like I really want you to play it and see how you feel about it. Because, we align on most things, but this is one of those things where I'm like, I'm curious where Kevin will land on it.
I like the original. I like mech games in general. Because to be perfectly real, some of what you've talked about with your experience with it is definitely a little bit of like Cam plays his first mech game. But there are things that were absolutely more unique and new, like the evolution stuff, the mutations, and the bike cannons. There's other stuff in here that is like more unique to it that I'm very curious about, and I want to try out for myself. So like I feel like I'd end up liking this. Like I don't know if I'd come away with the same degree of awe that you're currently gushing with, but like I see me liking this.
Like the mech stuff, like for the most part, I like recognize that's pretty normal in mech games.
Yeah.
I'm talking more of like the skills,
Sure.
and like so like one of the things that's cool that I forgot to mention is that if you deal enough damage to an enemy, their bar will go yellow, and then if you're next to them, you can grab them, and then you can either just like attack them while you're grabbing them. You can throw them. You can just like throw a person like another machine and just be like it's just all this kind of like ridiculous stuff that I just did not expect, and I really enjoying. But yeah, so thank you again, Xseed. I'm having a blast with that game, and I want more people to play it. So I'm not gonna, again, if I had to put a number on it right now, probably like an 8 out of 10, specifically like the Switch 2 version, because my main gripes are the controls and the performance. But like it again, it's not affecting my enjoyment of the game in a real way.
Yeah.
So yeah. I also got a code from Furyu for Varlet, which is their latest JRPG. If you don't know who Furyu is, they made Monarch. I think that's the only one I really remember off the top of my head that they've done. And they very much like make Persona-esque games, like games that you see the inspiration from the Persona series. And this one is probably like the closest to that. This is another game that I feel like is being reviewed like lower than I think it should be given credit for, but I'm also still very early.
Yeah.
So that could change. So basically like so first off, when the game starts, you take a test. And the test basically like sets up your social skills, how you start off. And instead of it being like, oh, cool, or like how it is in Persona, charm, things like that, it's a lot more philosophical. It's like, oh, sympathy, Machiavellian, like that type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool already. I took a picture of my results when I finished the test, and I'm just like, because it was like sympathy was like the highest one, and then the second one was Machiavellian. I'm like, these feel very like. These feel very opposite.
I mean, you can feel bad and still engineer shit. You're like, yeah, no, this is gonna suck for that guy, but gotta do what I gotta do.
That is kind of my mentality. It's like, yo, it is what it is. You just gotta do.
You gotta do it to him, you know.
Yeah, just like people are like, hey, how's life? It's like, oh, life sucks, but it is what it is. Like, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, so you take the test, and it's kind of like this. It feels present day, but it definitely has like some futuristic elements. Like there are like these like digital like AR ads of sorts that float around.
Yeah.
And the game takes place like entirely on a school campus. And so basically you are asked by your cousin to join this school group called the SSS, not the special support section from the Trail series, but it's something else. It's basically a group to help other students out with stuff. So the game is executed very episodic, not in the sense of like Telltale, but like, oh, you'll have your beginning portion of the day, then you'll have your kind of similar to Persona,
yeah,
but a lot more visual novel-y esque, where you have your morning stuff. Then it's like the middle of the day, and that's when you do the SSS activities, which, to be clear, the worst part of the game. Like, absolutely, like, the weakest part of the game, where you have to do some bullshit, like, very easy, very pointless activities to, like, up your star rank and things like that. And then you get to the back half of the day, which is normally where the dungeon crawling aspects are. It's turn-based combat. Some of the interesting things about it is that there's no like mana, there's no sort of like mana currency or resource. It is all just HP. But they implement things in the combat to make it, I guess, feel less generic. Because so basically, like, you have these charge attacks of sorts where you have to like, there's like build up, and then an enemy will attack and do what, and it'll say like what they're planning on doing. And so there are certain abilities that like disrupt those attacks, and then like the enemies have like a health bar and they have a stun bar. So when you hit someone with the right move when they're charging that attack, you don't stun them, you break them, but it's almost virtually the same thing. and then there's other abilities that's like, oh, if you use this ability when someone's uh broken or stunned, it does more damage. Like there's like these kind of like, a variety of different special moves that are meant for very specific situations. Um and then you have like certain abilities that like buff or you goad an enemy to attack one of the characters. Um and then there's this ability that I just got introduced to when I last played, because I've only played about 2 to 3 hours of this game.
Yeah.
Um, it's called a link step, because there's a on the left hand side it shows like the turn order, and apparently like if you do a turn like basically like right next to each other, there will be like a follow up that will be executed in between, if that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Sure.
If I'm remembering it correctly. Um, but yeah, it's like the combat is like they're I can tell that they're trying to diverse itself from
Yeah.
like
They
certain combat systems with like not having like MP or something equivalent to that.
sure.
But you can also just feel like, yep, this is a double A JRPG that like, you're seeing a lot of the same enemy types. And again, very early, it could evolve over time. But the story stuff I am interested in. Like I like the story, I like the characters that are being involved. It's just kind of hard not to directly compare it to Persona.
Sure.
Um,
I mean, that's kind of what happened
because
with Monarch too. It's just like, yep, this is clearly like a similar concept.
yeah, except for this one is actual turn-based. Well, that was like more of a
Yeah.
tactics-esque type game. Um, but I'm still really enjoying it. Like this is a game that I want to see through. Like I'm enjoying it enough. I want to play through it. I'm curious as to like how the story is going to evolve over time. So that's cool. It's on PS5 and Switch. So for anyone, and PC, I believe as well. So if anyone is interested in that, it's also I've heard it's on the shorter end. It's like 20 to 30 hours. It's not like a
Yeah.
50 plus hour JRPG. So, and also like you know support a smaller JRPG studio, um, because that's important too. So, it's something that like I would if I don't know how much they're selling it for right now, but I think it's 50. Like if I paid $50 for this game, like as of right now, I wouldn't be mad that I spent my money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um and then lastly, I have played a shit ton of Pokemon Violet. Thanks to the point where I'm almost done with the game. Before I left for Salem on Thursday night, I had one badge.
Yeah.
I
And
now
now
have all the badges. I now have all the badges. I have done all of the star bases, and I have also done all of the Titan stuff. I've done all the side quests. All I have to do is basically like the final battle for each of those threads, and then apparently there's actual end game after the Pokemon League this time,
Mhm.
which I think is interesting. Um, but on top of that, there's no victory road in this game, and that's kind of bullshit. Like because I'm at the point where like I think my highest party member is like 61
Mhm.
and my lowest party member is like 55 or Pokemon. Um and it's like, "Oh, you got to fight this character now." And I'm like, "Cool, let's do it." And his first Pokemon is level 61 and I'm like,
Great.
"Okay, where the fuck do I grind?" Cuz the best areas like at least I saw was like right by the last star base I did, and those Pokemon like I think got up to 52, and I'm like, I'm not trying to sit here forever
Yeah. Grinding up levels.
to
Yeah.
yeah to grind up levels. I'm trying to beat this game in the next like 5 hours. I don't know how long the end game stuff is, so I could be someone could hear 5 hours and laugh at me like good luck, but uh I'm wrapping things up. Like I'm
Yeah.
definitely at the place I'm like, hey, I'm beginning to wrap things up. I'm currently just trying to go through all the classes to get all that stuff done, because I'm also kind of curious like what is the point of the classes? Because really all it is that when you pass a class, they give you like some XP candies that don't do jack shit at this point in the game. Um and so I'm curious like did you finish Violet?
No.
Okay, okay.
I got like
I
midway
forgot. I
through.
forgot if we played this.
I want to do a fresh playthrough like on Switch 2 with the enhancements.
It,
I
it's really good.
I
It's
had I thought it was fine, like even with like outside of performance issues, and maybe the performance issues like brought everything else like down more for me. I was not as into it. I've heard lots of great things about like the end game zone. Like I've heard a lot of people say like that's like the peak moment. Um,
mm,
but at least what I played through, I was like, yeah, this is fine.
I'm really enjoying it. It was actually really funny. This was a fun moment when I played through this game is that I saw a Pokemon called Deerling, and I was just like, "Oh, this is a cute Pokemon that I've never seen before." Little do I learn that this is a 5th gen Pokemon, and I had no idea. I was just like, "Oh,
Yeah, that's the seasonal one,
okay,
right?
it's the seasonal one." But yo, I really like that Pokemon. Like, so point like thumbs up to Unova, a rare compliment from me. Um, because yeah, like that's been she's been my grass poke pretty diverse move set. I think it's like I got a bug move, I got a grass move, I got a psychic move, and like something else. Like yeah, she's been putting in work for me. And then but yeah, the game's great still. I think I can confidently say that this is my favorite Pokemon game since Black and White 2. Like, again, we talked about it before, is that visually not great to look at, definitely, but just the sense of like going from place to place has just been great. It's been really fun. Um I wish I had more reasons to explore certain points of the map. Because there's like one part that's like in the top right hand side. It's like there's nothing over there, so why would I go over there?
Right.
But just the general like writing and like getting mirrored on like more abilities, like oh, the gliding, very cool. Um, it's great. I really really love it. I also love how the gym leaders like have personality again.
Hmm.
Uh, like one of the gym leaders is an older black woman who's a rapper, and then
Hmm.
you also later find out that she's one of your teachers. I was like, that's great. I love that.
Yeah, and I
Um,
know a lot of people also love Larry. Like Larry is
oh
a
yeah,
character
people
that
loved Larry.
yeah,
Yeah, people loved Larry. Larry was cool, but then also like the water gym leader is like a chef, and he's like, though I guess I think one of my main issues though is that like, yeah, these are really like personalized gym leaders that feel like that they don't want to be gym leaders.
sure. I
Like
mean, Larry
none of
very
them
much so.
Larry didn't really want to, and then like the chef guy was just like, okay, like we'll battle now. I guess the streamer girl was just like, oh, do we have to do a gym battle, like that type of deal?
Mhm.
Um, but they're at least personalized and they're memorable, which I could not say for most Pokemon gym leaders for the past like few generations.
Mhm.
The only other one I remember is the fire gym leader or the fire like chief or whatever they called it for in Alola, because the challenge was so stupid. It was so stupid. Do you remember that challenge?
I feel like it involved Marowaks, but I don't really remember much.
So it was Marowak, and it was like they were supposed to they would do like a dance, and then they would show a screen and it'd be like, what is off about this screen? Like what is off
Yeah.
about it? And you have to like pick and And there's one, Kevin, I swear to God, I cannot make this up, where you just see the Marowaks dancing, and then this is what you see when it's frozen picture. You just see some random guy in the corner of the screen, like up close, like this,
Yeah.
like, and it's like, and then you point to them, and then the guy's like, "How did you know? Like, how did you know was the? How did you notice that?" And it's like the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Me and my roommate talk about that all the time because it's just like one of the stupidest moments. But anyway, yeah, Pokemon Violet continues to be very good. I'm happy I got this playtime in because I wanted to be done at least with the base game before ZA comes out. And with the amount of games that I'm playing currently and have received codes for. I don't know when if I would have been able to finish Violet
Yeah.
before ZA. So,
Thank
yep.
you, bad layover.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you, Boston weather.
Yeah. When you were talking about Pokemon, it did remind me of one quick thing I wanted to bring up about Silksong, which is my one like criticism. Like the one thing I do not like about Silksong, I just want to mention real quick. The resource grind is not great. Like enemies either need to
Mm.
drop more currency or some stuff just needs to be cheaper. Because like I basically hit a point where I'm at end game and it's like, cool, there's just a ton of stuff I never bought, and I just need to now run around and make money for too long to be able to buy it all. Because they nickel and dime you constantly. It's like, oh, like here's a new fast travel point. You have to spend money to unlock it. Oh, here's like a bench. You have to spend money to unlock it. Oh, you want to buy a map for this thing. You have to spend money to unlock it, which is fine because it like forces you to like make sure you're being a little thrifty and like trying to grind up a little. But just like the total net sum of like what money you bring in and then where you need to spend it is just a bit too out of whack. Part of it is because only certain enemies drop money, basically. Like there's two different currencies,
Oh, okay.
shards, and then like beads, and beads are the ones you use to buy things. And so like there's some zones where you're just never making beads because
So,
those enemies don't drop it.
is it not the same currency from Hollow Knight?
It's not because you're in a different region. And in Hollow Knight, all enemies
Oh,
dropped
interesting.
the one currency. In this,
Yeah.
all enemies drop shards, which are used for certain things and like is an important currency. But then the one you
Mm.
use for buying stuff, beads, only certain enemies drop that. And it's like it's a lot of enemies, but there's just gonna be some zones where it's like beads are just never dropping because you're fighting like it's kind
Mm.
of like civilized bugs have beads, and then the more kind of like wildlife style, like oh, this is meant to be more of like a beast. Those ones don't drop beads. Is kind of the energy, and yeah, it's just very frustrating. I think like how much stuff there is to buy, and like the curve is just not quite there for me. Because it's not like I lost a lot of beads, because beads are one of those things you can lose from dying if you don't like get back to where you died.
Mhm.
But like I was pretty good about not losing currency, and I still ended up in a position where it's just like I have to grind now. There is no other. I just have to run around now. I've done as much content as I can. There's a lot of stuff I haven't bought, and I'm fine with having to do a little bit of that at the end. But I've had to do it a lot, like a lot.
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I hate grinding for money in games. That's like the worst.
yeah. Especially if it's not like there's not even that many great late game tools for upping how much you make. Like there's one, but it also makes it so that when you get hit, you drop money. So it's like this isn't like sure you're rewarding me for being good at this game, but like I'm hitting the point here where I just need to make money to buy the things. Like I've
Mhm.
gotten through. I have beaten the final boss multiple times now. Just let me buy things.
Yeah. Now we're gonna get into topic of the show this week, and this is not meant to call this person out, but it did make me be like, huh, interesting. We're gonna talk about that for a topic of the show.
Interesting.
Uh, being where when we were talking about trail. I was talking about Trails in the Sky. I was talking about the Trails in the Sky demo. Um, and they were like someone commented basically saying that oh, like you shouldn't want remakes to be like a one for one. Like, what's the point of remakes if they're like a one for one type deal?
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, interesting. Let's talk about that on the podcast
Yeah.
because I think that there is something to be said about remakes, and like I think that there are different ways games can be remade,
Sure.
and because I don't remember if I talked about it on that episode, but I know that uh I heard Brendan Just the Gems from JRPG Pursuit talk about it on when he had like a preview for the demo, talking about like how when Final Fantasy VII Remake was announced and people were upset that it wasn't a one for one remake. I didn't really like understand that, but now having played Trails in the Sky remake and it's like a one for one remake, I totally understand why they were upset about that.
Sure.
because like that's what people want from that. And like we've seen other examples of remakes that are, there's some changes, and like there are some changes in Trails in the Sky, like the combat's not the same, things like
Sure.
that. That are some of the most beloved remakes of all time, like Resident Evil 2, right? Resident Evil 2 remake. There were definitely some changes made in that game, but that is basically a one for one remake in the ways that people like really consider when it comes to that stuff, and it set the standard, right? It set the bar. Um, yeah, so I just wanted to like toggle your brain
Yeah.
on that.
No, for sure. I mean, like, here's the thing, right? Is that I always have trouble a little bit with this kind of concept because, like, I never like dealing in like what a thing should be. Because at the end of the day, a lot of times what I end up coming back to, like, just was it good? Like, just was it good? Like at the end, because there's plenty of times you can have something that is a authentic, like one to one. We kept things strictly the same, and then it's like, yeah, that was cool, but like it was a fine game or whatever. And you get into stuff like Remake or Final Fantasy VII Remake, where it's a very different game, and I very much like it for that. And I probably would have liked a faithful one to one as well if it still had like the redone combat and visuals and all that. But I'm also intrigued by what they're doing with the remake, which Seven Remake is also weird because it's also I'd almost argue it's a sequel pretending to be a remake in title. It's a whole thing. That's a whole other mess. Um, I just think context matters so much for like a lot of these kind of conversations and a lot of specific example games. Because when it comes to like one-to-one remake versus something massively different, I think a lot of times a major important point to that for me is like, do I still have a way of playing the old thing, right? Like if Final Fantasy VII
Sure.
was lost to time and was not available on any major platforms, and you had to, the only way to play it was to buy a PS1 copy at a used game store, I would probably be saltier about the remake being as different as it is. Um, but FF7 original is everywhere. Like, sure, there's
Hmm.
differences with like how it was ported and re-released, and there's like new features, whatever. But like, ultimately, that is FF7, and there are ways for me to play original FF7. So like, yeah, get wild with the remake. I don't care. I have a way to play that still. And so when I look at something like Trails, for instance, I do have a way of playing Trails, which is the PC version that's like still around. But it is a little bit more limited in terms of platform choices. Um, I think I'm more excited for that being like an honest one, right? Because it's giving me a way to like, okay, cool. It is updated and the combat's different and such, but like the core experience in terms of the storytelling and stuff is the same. And like that makes it more intriguing to me, I think, because it's like, oh, like it's so much harder to play the original one still outside of just grabbing it on PC. Um, Yeah, it's tough because I just don't know how much I'd want to argue, like, the remake should be blank. And we even talked about this during our panel, right? Like, there's so many weird shades of gray when it comes to defining remake versus remaster versus port. Like, you can kind of get the main broad strokes down, but there's always going to be games that mess with that. And what is a remake versus what is just a remaster? Uh, and I sometimes get frustrated with those conversations of like, well, we have to make strict definitions of what is what because at the end of the day, I just care about if I liked the thing. Like but is it good at the end of the day? Um yeah, so like I disagree, I guess, with the base premise of like, oh, you should want a remake to be different. But not because I think that it should be same or different. It's just more of I don't care. Is it
Mm.
good? Is where I find myself going back to. Um, I think the only thing that really does impact it is when you get into this question of like how available is the older version? Because the harder it is to play that, the more I can understand feeling like there is some kind of loss from the only way to play this game is this remake. And like maybe that isn't the best way to play then because there are things about the original that hit different.
Yeah. So that was a lot. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to think about, because I agree with you when it comes to like Final Fantasy VII Remake, for example, right? Where um they it is a remake, but it's also a retelling, and there's like narrative like explanations as to why it is that why it's being a retelling.
Yeah, it's kind of a sequel
And
again. Like it's a very specific special case.
yes, it's a pseudo sequel slash remake type situation. Um, which is really really cool, and like something that I can definitely expect from Final Fantasy. But then you have instances like Trails where yeah, it's a one for one remake where it matters, which is the story.
Yeah.
Like that nothing there changes, and that is crucial to remaking a Trails game.
Yeah.
But then they ended up carrying over the action hybrid stuff to that game, which I have mixed feelings on, right? Like there's something that I really enjoy about the original combat system of Trails, but I also recognize that like, hey, the action turn-based hybrid is working, and they've noticed a shift in the in the want for less turn-based stuff. It'd be curious to see how like the JRPG space looks in a post Expedition 33 world. But that's where like the direction Falcom has been going for the past like 3 now upcoming 4 games. 5 if we want to include that they basically said like, hey, we want to make second chapter, which should have brought up in the news, but I honestly completely forgot. Um but
It was kind of a
yeah,
soft
so
announcement, right? They were just sort of like, "Hey, by the way, like we
yeah,
are going to do this one too, just so you know." Like it was very
yeah,
they didn't like make a big to do about it, as I understand.
which that game is probably like halfway done with development at this
Sure.
point.
I
So
feel like it
when
was
they
just
say
a
that.
I feel like it was just an understood inevitability. You're making first chapter, so you're going to do second. Like that's just
Yes. Even though they said like, "Oh, it depends on how well the first one's," we knew you were full of shit, Falcom.
I mean,
Anyway,
I could see abandoning development if like no one bought that game or something, but I don't think anyone thought that was going to be the case.
exactly. And so like I just feel that I cuz I don't know if I'm as like on board of like the kind of gray areas of a remaster, remake, like port type deal. Like I think that they're pretty distinct enough where like I don't like, oh yeah, this is a remaster, like I just think that like again when we talk about on the panel, there's just varying degrees of what a remaster is,
Sure.
where where we have like the most bare minimum type thing like SMT3, or we get something that is just like way more than most people expect, to the point of like, why not just remake it like Ride Out Remastered.
Mhm.
um that I just don't, because to the even point where with Rhino Remastered, right? They changed the combat. They like brought the combat from the second game to the first game. Like that's significant in its own right. Where it's just like, yeah, I mean it's still technically the same game, so I guess it's a remaster. But you did so much stuff that like it's that is like one real like, okay, I can kind of see where the conversation is. Um, but when it comes to remakes, I just think that it just depends on the game, right? And it depends on what you're looking for in a remake. Because I think that Resident Evil 2 remake, for example, would be weird if they just did Resident Evil 2. They changed the story, they changed like
Sure.
significant things about what that game originally was, because there's been this ongoing story for all
Yeah.
these years, and changing a significant degree like that would just be odd.
Yeah. I think you also get into territory of like how much has changed as far as like the combat and the experience goes, because you look at the Trails example, and again the core story is the same, but mechanically and visually you would never confuse the two. Like they are very different looking and feeling games to play.
Mhm.
um and there are other situations where like you know uh I would question why the remake, if it's not significantly different in some interesting way. Like a big one for me, and I like this game. I do. Like I played it, I enjoyed it, I thought it was great. If it never happened, I wouldn't be missing anything because I don't think it's that significantly different. Resident Evil 4 remake. It is
Mm.
it is so so close in so many ways. And yeah, there's some big changes and there's some updates that make it fall in line with what they did in 2 Remake and 3 Remake. And it is visually like a much better looking game, sure. But like Resident Evil 4 is so playable across so many goddamn platforms, and nothing about 4 Remake screamed to me like, oh, I'm glad they did this. This really needed updating. It's like, no, it's I picked it up, I had fun with it. I don't think I'm really missing anything if I never actually played it though. It's like, yeah, it's more 4. And so like I can see how there's like a tiresomeness with some remakes in that situation where it's like, why did you do this? Like what is really being brought to the table with this remake? I've seen a lot of people have that sentiment with Metal Gear Solid Delta, where I haven't played it yet, but as I understand, it is extremely one-to-one, except for
Mhm.
the visuals. Like, there's some little mechanical updates, but like it is pretty much like this is Metal Gear Solid 3, but it just looks better now. Um, and there are a lot of people who are like, cool, why would I ever pick this up then? And other people who are like, yeah, it's the same game, but it's prettier now. It was a fun excuse to replay it, basically. Uh, and I think a little bit of that does come down to like your own mentality of like why you play things or what you're looking for out of a game, right? Like at the end of the day,
Yeah.
like I think a lot of this does come down to personal preference. It's very hard to talk about this field and try to be like there are objective reasons why or why not you should remake and what makes a good or bad remake. Like different people want
Yeah.
different things out of it is kind of the headache with that.
I
Um,
think it ul- yeah, I think it ultimately stems from like there stems to like trying to attract the most like general audience of people and it's like, hey, new thing, fresh thing. This is that.
yeah.
For those that like never played like Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
Snake
Well,
Eater, for
and
example, right?
Trails is a big example, right? Like, because the only way to play, like, there some folks are just not good at playing older looking stuff,
Yeah,
and especially in the case
exactly.
of Trails, where it's this ongoing plot, and plenty of people, yourself included, would push like, "Nah, man, you gotta play these like in order. You gotta play. You really need to like see the whole story. It's important to do these this order." That suddenly makes playing any of the newer ones kind of weird feeling because it's like I have to go back and play this game that came out on the PSP like 20 years ago. Like what like that feels like a weird introduction or like I don't want to play that kind of thing. And
Mhm.
so like that's kind of why Trails Remake exists a little bit, right? Is to be like, hey, like you've heard about this series, you're seeing the growing popularity and fan base, but you want to play where it started. Here you go. Like here is this way to do that now that's going to feel like a new game.
Yeah, because that that's totally valid. Because that was something that when we were at PAX West. I was talking to a lot of people. Because there's a few people that like said like I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play Trails in the Sky. Like, and they just like haven't gotten to it yet. And I'm just like I'm at the point. I'm just like just play the remake. Just do it. Like, and if you know that you like it, then you can wait for the second chapter. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you don't have to like. That's the thing I want to like share to people. Try to spread the message. Like you don't need to when you start the first game and you're like I'm in. You don't need to commit yourself to the entire series like I did. I know I'm an anomaly and like and some other people have done it too, but like take your time with it. You don't have to just be like, "Oh, if I'm starting Trails, I can't do anything else but Trails." I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, you don't need to do it that way. You can do it one game at a time. You can do it an arc at a time, which I think most people do, and play it that way." So cuz I was talking to my buddy Logan Plant, who's a writer over at IGN, and he actually talked to his sister about how I talked to him about Trails. She has played 8 games now in the series.
Mhm.
Like she's in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like that's what I need for you, dog. Like that's what I want for you. Like your sister recognizes it. So why don't you play it? Come
Uh-huh.
on, man. And I was like, there's a demo. Play the demo. And I was really trying to convince him. I'm like, dog, you can do it. And I think he's gonna give it a shot. I really hope he does. But yeah, I think that is the thing. It's just getting people like in front of the fresh new version. Even though I think that the first one holds up spectacularly, I understand if people are like, "Nope, I just want to play the new one." I'm like, "Okay, sure, that's fine." Um, because I also think that when it comes to these remakes. Like there's other remakes that are cool that they happened. It's kind of like this weird middle ground, right? Where like you were talking about how when it comes to remakes for games that are well accessible, that's just like, okay, cool, like there's a remake, but I have this, so I can just play this. But then there's like instances for remakes that aren't as accessible, but like the remake is really just like a fresh coat of paint, like Super Mario RPG,
Hmm.
right? And so like that's a game I haven't played yet, but when I do play it, I want to play both versions. I want to play the original before I play the remake.
Hmm.
I want to experience both sides of it, even if it is just a one for one remake. And I just think like that is another aspect of this whole thing where it's like, yeah, here's a remake for this game, and it really is similar to uh Metal Gear Solid Delta. It's like a fresh coat of paint, but it's basically the same game. But in this instance, this is a game that is really only available on the SNES or the SNES Classic if you got that. It's not on NSO, is it?
For what? Super
Super
Mario?
Mario RPG?
I don't believe
I
so.
don't think it
No,
is.
no. I think they
Yeah,
just did the
so
remake and lifted that.
it's really just like not accessible like for the original version of that game. And it's just like how do you handle that in that situation? Like a lot of people are just going to play the remake cuz it's more accessible, but like when you have this conversation it's just like, oh man, like but you should play the original cuz like you get that idea of like where it originally stemmed from, like or what it originally looked like, and thinking about when it came out at its time. Similar to like when I played with Chrono Triggers, like this game rocks, and I totally understand like why people really dig this game uh from that played it when it came out, or like I talked about Dragon Quest 4 earlier this year. It's just like, man, this game did not do it for me. Like but I understand why people that did play it when it came back revere it so highly. Um so yeah, I just like having like that historical context when it comes to remakes of especially JRPGs, because JRPGs just always have like there's always a weird history with a lot of JRPGs, whether it be like localization, like things like that, which like what did the original look like before we got this remake and what changed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there anything else you wanted to add to
I
that?
did not have a good follow up to that one. No, I feel like
No,
I'm going in circles a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, it's just really just like I think that there's a historical element to remakes as well that
Yeah.
I just when it comes to playing games, I tell people normally it's like, oh, should I play the original or should I play the remake? I was like, unless you like want the historical aspect of it, of like just like knowing like what this game was like when it came out, then yeah, probably just play the one for one remake and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like I think Trails is just a little bit different because with Trails it's like, hey, I think you should play the original because if you like it, you're gonna want to play the next one.
Sure.
And you're eventually going to get to a point where you're gonna go backwards,
Yeah.
whether it be like you play first chapter and then you just decide, no, I need to play second chapter right now, I don't care if it's the original.
Yeah.
There's going to be a shift.
Yeah.
There's going to be a shift visually, there's going to be a shift with the presentation, there's going to be a shift with the gameplay, and for some people that might turn them off.
Yeah.
Or like if you wait hypothetically until like the liberal remakes are done,
Yeah.
and then we don't know if Crossbell happens, it's like you got to play Crossbell next.
Yeah.
You're going back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and like I think what's weird about this initial pitch too to me was just because this was like, oh, you should want things to be more different in remakes. And it's like, this is a pretty different remake. Like I understand specifically story is the thing that is kept intact, but like I don't think anyone's going to look at Trails remake and be like, "Oh, what did they even change?" You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It is a significantly different looking, different playing game, and that gets into a weird territory of like, well, what is on the table to change, or what should be different, or what should be kept the same? Because like, yeah, I think that to me that feels like the best balance is you're maintaining the story, but yeah, let's overhaul the combat. Let's overhaul the art style. Let's overhaul the camera. Because I feel like if they announced a Trails remake and it was the same like isometric like style camera, but with just prettier looking character designs, I feel like people would not be as about that, right? Like
Hmm.
this didn't bother me as much, but I remember a lot of people were, and I'm mad at this remake for multiple reasons that are unrelated to this. But a lot of people weren't happy with like Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, where like that was keeping
Mm,
like, oh, we're gonna do the old school Pokemon top down look. Uh, Even though the mainline games have moved on, but we're also gonna make everyone kind of chibi and go into this art style a bit because that feels like a modern recreation of like what those would look like. And that didn't really bother me, but like I definitely know a lot of people were like, why does the remake look like this? Like when it's not
hmm.
really in line with, because at that point, even though past Pokemon remakes were updating the visuals and still had the top down, it felt like it was in line with like the mainline game that was out, right? Heart Gold Soul Silver looks like Diamond Pearl. X and Y looks like uh, Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. Uh, and then suddenly Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is just like, no, we're gonna take this old school and look different. And it wasn't as appealing to a lot of people because of that reasoning. Um,
And see, I'm the opposite where I liked it.
yeah,
Like I,
I wasn't bothered by
you
the visual
know,
at all in that game, but I was much more bothered by what they chose not to change, which was making it none of the platinum updates. God damn it.
and I don't know, yeah, and I don't know if that was a feedback thing from Alpha Sapphire Omega Ruby because again, because we're on different pages there. Where like I did not like that remake. I really did not.
I
And
didn't either, but it
you,
wasn't because of the visuals. Is I guess where I was coming from on that.
oh, I mean, the presentation of it is like what I just don't think Hoenn translated well in that space in the way that they made Pokemon games at that time.
Right. Too much modern.
And like if and if the team that remade Diamond Shining Pearl did it the same way for the Hoenn games, I think I would have been so much higher on the Hoenn remakes.
Mm.
Um if they did that. But yeah, so I don't know. But I do think that is a great example of very conflicting remakes
Yeah.
where like uh both of them, but like I think Diamond Shining Pearls was a more like um mainstream topic of just like, oh man, a lot of people don't like that they went this route.
Yeah.
And then there are people like me that didn't like how they went with the Hoenn games. So yeah,
And and
that's totally fair.
And those games are also a great example of a situation where the original versions are just not really that accessible, like at all, right?
Mm,
Uh,
mm,
like there was a time where you could get like gold and silver on the 3DS when the eShop was still up, but like that's gone again now. And so anytime
yeah,
like a Pokemon game gets remade, it's like you're battling it out with, yeah, like remake is cool, but there's no way for me to play this original really in any kind of convenient factor because Nintendo is not great about that. Uh,
yeah.
and
And
I
even
think,
now, we still don't have like any of the first Gen 3 Pokemon games on NSO.
yeah, not at all. Yeah. And I think that just all feeds into that main point again of like, I think the context of what the remake is like being released within has such a major impact on it. How available the
Hmm.
original is, I think really impacts the idea of like how much more risk you're willing them to take with what they change or how much they add or whatever. Because if that original isn't there, there's that much stronger sense of just like, cool, you guys brought it back, but not really in the way that preserved what I loved about like this older one.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
imagine if like like if Trails never got a PC version and you love like that top-down isometric view and it's like the only way to play Trails in the Sky now is this remake that completely changes that. Like I could see that having a much bigger sense of loss for someone.
totally agree with you. Um, and the thing that's interesting too is that like, because while there were like additions to Crystal, when it came to like story and stuff, I don't think that they were remotely as significant as like Emerald or Platinum, where like those remakes don't offer those experiences in the same way. And especially Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Like
Yeah, none of
I
the
think
platinum
that
stuff's in it. Yeah.
yeah. And that's like for a lot of people their favorite Pokemon game. Like that I think that's like I think most people would say that that is a top 3 Pokemon game.
I
Like if you
know
ask most people.
I know very few people that will shout how much they love Diamond and Pearl. They will talk endlessly about how much they love Platinum. Like when people talk about
Yeah.
liking Gen 4, they're talking about Platinum or the
Yes.
Gold Silver remakes. It
Yes.
is arguably the most significant leap from like original base games to third version.
Absolutely.
And so to
Absolutely.
see all of that not come back in the remake was such a slap in the face to people that like Platinum because there's definitely more people that like Platinum than like Diamond Pearl.
No, I agree completely. Yeah. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about before
No,
we wrap things up
I
on
think we
this?
hit all the different aspects of just like, yeah, what justifies a remake in a sense, and whether you want that to happen or not.
Yeah, and like I don't think I ever like really need a justification on a remake. It's just more so like I don't know, like if there are certain games we didn't really talk about this, but like there are certain games I think like that don't need to be remade like anytime soon
Sure.
that
I mean,
are like really beloved games. Like
yeah,
I don't think I mean we can already talk about this like Chrono Trigger is one, right? Like that could just get a port like um and
I think it ages great.
that
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it
mean,
ages great.
that's kind of what I was touching on with Resident Evil 4, right? Is that like I enjoy the remake and I think the remake is good. I'm not going to be like, oh, this remake's trash or anything like that. It's just sort of like I played it, then I went, yeah, I enjoyed that. As much as I enjoyed original Resident Evil 4 that is also available on my PS5 and Xbox and Switch. Like it's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is another way to play a game that's just already great in its own right, and I don't really know if it needed that extra polish, personally.
Yes, and then there's instances like Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't want that game to be touched. Like if that game gets a remake, I would be extremely cautious. Um I would be extremely worried that that game does like not meet the expectations or and then there's just bad remakes like Chain of Memories where that is just not a reflection of anything that made the original good.
Yeah.
The it was like, hey, let's trade like identity for voice acting in
Voice
between
acting and like falling
worlds.
more in line with like it the Chain of
Yeah, it
Memories
fell
remake
more in
feels
line with the
more.
Kingdom Hearts 2 gameplay.
Yeah, it feels like a midpoint between 1 and 2 more so, and like that's fine, but it's not good.
Yeah,
Original
it's
Chain of
not.
Memories is so much better. And that's yeah, and there's another example of like you're losing that identity. And like there's plenty of ways to play that remake because it's in every freaking re-release collection, but OG Game Boy version, Game Boy Advance, like gotta find a copy.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then there's instances like Recoded where like this was initially like an old school mobile game
Yes.
that was specific on very specific phones in Japan, and they had to remake it because it was relevant to the story of
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
Oops.
Listen, I can poke fun at Kingdom Hearts too. You know what I mean?
I feel like Recoded is
Um,
the one that comes up the most is just like why.
yeah, no, that was a very bizarre thing. Uh, so yeah, there's bad remakes too. Well, I mean, but Recoded is like, to be clear, uh, I'm glad it exists. And it was having replayed it recently, it's better than I expected.
It is the
Better
only
than I
one I
expected.
haven't played. I've played
Better
every
than I expected.
I've played every major Kingdom Hearts release except that. Like, oh, and then like the whatever the other mobile game was. Any ones that started as mobile games are the bullshit
Oh
remakes.
yeah. Union Cross.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. That's a fair one. But okay, cool. That was a good chat. Where are we at on time this week?
Uh, not our longest episode, I think.
Okay,
It's up
okay.
there. It is up
Yeah.
there. We're at basically 2.5, a little under. We're at like 220 something.
Okay. Okay.
So
Cool. Awesome.
yeah, but definitely a long one.
Yeah. Much needed because again, a lot happened in the
Well, and
past
last week was
week
not
and a
really a
half.
traditional episode either. So like there was kind of stuff to like, we just had to get stuff out. You had your trials and tribulations in Salem, or getting out of Salem at least.
Yeah, trials and tribulations of getting out of Boston and failing to talk to women. Yeah, it was a mixed bag of a trip. But anyway, thank you everybody for listening to this week's episode. You can follow me on socials at CamFinalMix, and then you can follow Kevin at all socials at Kevin Kenson. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, we will catch you later.
Later.